Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming. Fire Phil Spencer, burn Xbox to the ground. I'm running mine over with my car. Good night, everybody.
That was extremely hostile.
You know what we do with those people, right? If they're too hostile right here in the chat, ban them. Put them in timer.
I heard an echo for a minute. Okay, it's gone.
Jago said, let's get the spicy takes out of the way first. Not 2 hours into the show. He said, great show. Exactly what I thought. Oh, my goodness. What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's Tuesday night. It is. Oh, I didn't even have the right. See, look, I did have it on my mind. I didn't even have the right topic.
What about Phil?
What about Phil? So, I don't know, man. We'll talk about that. And don't worry, we won't go 2 hours before we talk about it. Just because Jago wants to hear it before we go to bed. That's right. Jago will have to stay up until then.
As long as we don't talk about the GRIT, and I don't mean grit.
Oh, the next level, the NLG.
GRIT.
Come on, it's the NLG. It's the NLG. I gotta get a new opening that says next level griddle. Next level griddling.
Oh Lord.
It's happening.
Oh Lord.
So, I'm telling you.
Jane, get me off this crazy thing. Jane.
Oh my God, what's going on, boys? Another Tuesday night in paradise. How you guys doing? How's weekends? All that good stuff.
Good. Played some fantastic games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's apparently you've gotten bitten by the bug I want to hear all about. So,
are we talking about Redfall?
Yeah, Redfall.
Might be.
I just played some. I had to finish my mission real quick. But yeah, it's like I'm looking forward to playing my Redfall every day.
Yeah, what an interesting turn of development.
Yeah, I played some Redfall.
I mean, the game is not perfect, but it is enjoyable.
By no means,
solo as well as
especially when people teleport out of the house, and then you got to look on the map and try to find them. That's annoying.
Yeah, that's when you play not with your friends. Those are not friends.
They've been my friends for a while. But we had a lot of internet issues this weekend with that game. People kept getting booted out, missions stopping, not finding the things that you need to complete a mission, and you're looking everywhere for it. And then when it reboots, that's when those things that you were looking for to help complete the missions all of a sudden show up. I'm like, it was a rough weekend. But I guess that means a lot of people are also playing it too. So
apparently, there has been word that
There are 4 of my friends list playing it tonight, so people are playing.
Despite the
drama.
You know.
See, Jago too.
Yeah,
he was looking forward to Redfall tonight, but Retro Renegades, and now you guys, no games today.
Aw.
Well, just play during the daytime. You can play with all the little 12.
Remember, during the day, there are no vampires.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
Well.
it's a video game. They make their own nighttime.
I know.
Yeah. So I'm curious then to hear your thoughts on it. However, there is, by the way, there was supposed to be an update that came through. So,
last week.
No.
Was it yesterday, I think?
Monday. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Oh, you think Phil Spencer got on him and said, "You need to fix this"? Excuse my French.
No, it was just a little hot fix, and I think the majority had to do with server connectivity and stability and heartbeats and other stuff.
Actually, here I found it.
The description of the update.
Yep.
Break it down.
Today's hot fix for Redfall includes fixed an infinite loading screen issue that resulted from suspending and resuming gameplay while fast traveling across the map. Fixed a save system crash that resulted from suspending and resuming gameplay while fast traveling across the map. Updated game server logic, heartbeat logic for improved back-end communication with live servers. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the big problem we had this weekend with the servers.
Well, I guess start there. We'll talk about the other pieces of it, but did
they say what time that update was coming, or was it was last night around midnight or something, which is when they usually do that stuff?
It just said
no, it was during the day.
Oh, okay.
It was during the day, and it took the servers offline. And
oh, so you waited to play after the patch?
No, I played before the patch. I played all weekend long.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
But no, I might give it a try again because, like I said, we had a lot of technical problems this weekend.
We had not that many problems.
Yeah, some people.
We had a disconnect, but besides that, not too crazy. The quest seemed all to behave. The nest seemed to behave.
How's that? Okay, because I've watched a bunch of other people play this. How's that AI? How are the enemy AI?
It's not too bad. I only found like one guy, a bellwether guy, which are like regular. Those are not vampires. They're just regular soldiers. He was like staring with his flashlight in the dark, like you couldn't see me with that flashlight. So
did you have to fight the one under the bridge yet? That big boss that's a pain in the butt? That mission?
Under the bridge. I don't think I have done the one under the bridge. Yeah. I just fought, what's it called? Rook? The lighthouse?
I haven't been to the lighthouse yet. I've been to where they got that wooden crane area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that boss was a pain in the butt. And then, you got to get to that where it's like if you don't have a machete at the end of your gun, and you're just trying to kill it with bullets, you got to use the machete because the bullets going to the heart do not work. You got to have a machete.
You need to stab it.
Yeah. But what cracks me up is the enemy got grenades and you don't have grenades in the game. That's unfair.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Nope.
If they can throw it, you should be able to throw it.
Right. Why shouldn't I have grenades?
Yeah. I agree.
Give me a rocket launcher. Come on.
Yeah. I don't have that either. At least I have not seen it. But we have some other ones. We got UV.
Yeah.
Big UV gun.
And then you got to fight the other guys during the daytime, and they stupid. The regular people. that are on the vampire side.
And also depending on who you are, if you are the guy with the crow, I forgot his name, but he has another perk, which is basically you're cloaked. You just go behind him and stab him with the stake, and
I like
one hit and they're down.
Yeah, I like my partner with the teleporter elevator. That's actually easier to get into higher places. It don't last that long, but it's easier. I need to upgrade my little robot thing so he shoots better and can shoot more things. A la Borderlands playing the commando type.
See, there you go, saying Borderlands again.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah,
I played some Borderlands, but it never captured my attention, and this game does.
Well, I tell you, the enemy AI in Borderlands is a lot better than this game.
Maybe it is, but that doesn't mean it's going to be more enjoyable for me. But
I enjoy Borderlands. I always play with my friends. We also always go in with a group of 4. So
yeah, but in Redfall, there's some textures that are just bad. Like the firehouse, your main hub, right, in the first world.
Right.
There's some textures that are so bad. It's like, how? How could they? I mean, that's just absurd.
It's a firehouse. I mean, even on PC, I hear it takes forever for the text under the one on the ground that says it's a firehouse.
Yeah, that thing, the big seal on the ground, that looks like so pixelated. It's like, what the? Why? And then in the firehouse, there's some other ones, some seals or whatever on the wall, and that one looked like really good, like very detailed and stuff. It's like, it's almost like here's, the senior did this, the junior did that. It's like, but where's the QA that says like, hey,
it's the compass that's bothering me, because I go in the area and I try to follow the compass, and it doesn't tell you if it's up or down. I don't like that compass style that they have. I wish they had like a traditional map where you can mark it, and then you can, go to your next area. You can mark it.
You can mark it on the map.
Well, yeah, you can mark it on the map, but
and then you see it on your compass. You see where you need to go.
Ahead.
You want a whole waypoint, like make a legal U-turn and other stuff, that kind of stuff.
You don't have a vehicle in that game. How you gonna make a legal U-turn? You got all these vehicles sitting there.
You got your legs. You be running.
Hot wire them. Come on.
Sliding. The slide on your knees is like, I don't know how far you can slide. It's like 20 feet plus.
Yeah. At least give me a motorcycle. Jesus.
Yeah.
You got to.
Diego and I are on the same page. Borderlands always bore me to death, and Redfall also kind of hooked me.
Well, we're the opposite on that one.
Yeah. How are you? So you're doing all right with? I mean, I'm asking because I'm still holding.
It's fun.
Jedi Survivor to finish.
It's fun when you play with people and it works right.
Even solo, it's fun. The thing is, when you play with others, you don't have time to explore because everybody's running to the objective and kill it as quickly as possible. When you play it solo, it's like, you're sightseeing and you're gonna, try to get in every room and looking around and other stuff.
Ramp it up, Peter, when you play with more people. So you don't want to stray from the fold because, that death, you're going to respawn back to a safe point. You need people to help you. You don't want to veer from them.
Especially when you have those bloodsuckers, they or those anglers, they reel you in, and sometimes it's kind of hard to escape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll play with you tomorrow, Myke. Me and Peter can play with you tomorrow on it.
No. Well, maybe Thursday. I mean, I got to get through. I don't think
Myke needs to. Myke needs to wait for the 60 FPS because he's going to complain the whole time. I don't want him.
Oh, Lord.
You're only going to get the 60 on PC, dude.
No. That's not what Daddy Phil said.
Oh, here we go again.
That's not what Daddy Phil said. Phil said they got a timeline, which might be enough for me to get through Jedi Survivor. Because right now...
Yeah, you're also waiting for patches on that one. So it's like...
Yeah, I know. But at least it tries. least it tries. I got through the Rancor, which was good.
Good.
Did you put a bone in his mouth?
Once. You can do it.
Oh my God.
You can do it one time. And that gets you. Let's get you. What's up, yo? So, but it seems like you guys have been busy with that. I have been busy with Jedi Survivor. I am there, and again, I think it's the same. There are definitely there's some technical issues they need to address, but I mean that game was not as
it wasn't polished.
It's more polished than Redfall.
Well, yeah. Come on.
Well, I think Brother Mav he's bored. He wants to talk games. I think Brother Mav might want to jump in here.
Yeah, I was looking for the Earl. I would send him that, but I'm having issues.
Man, right now I got a craving for a nice big.
I mean, I'm happy that because it looks like. Let me double check one more time to see if Darth Praxis maybe he just didn't. I don't know. Maybe he just fell asleep or something. So
at least I send you a message when I can't make it.
I know. We got room because I don't think Darth is gonna make it this week. So, Mav, fire up your Skype. I'll add you to the call. So, Jago says he's 76 hours in on Jedi Survivor. I'm not getting to Redfall anytime soon, but that gives me a chance to get to the patch. That's all I want is just a patch.
Yeah, it will benefit from the patch. At the beginning, it's very jarring to see 30 FPS. So once you're like running around a little bit, it's like, it's not as what I'm trying to anymore.
Myke, let me tell you some truth. By the time you get a patch from that game, they're gonna put a patch out for Anthem. Okay?
Anthem.
That is not. That is not.
Well, Anthem 2.0.
Right. That is not what we were told.
No, the boxes were printed with 60 FPS on it. So.
That's right. There you have it. It's coming. It's coming. It's just gonna take some time. And that gives me time. That gives me time to get through Jedi Survivor, which I am enjoying. And there are the thing is that there are when you're out in the open, it definitely is a bit stuttery. When you're in an enclosed space, when you're doing kind of the more traditional point A to point B kind of stuff,
less polygons are needed, less graphical power.
Yeah, it's definitely smoother. Definitely smoother. Relic said, "Oh, there's Mav. Let's bring Mav in." And your camera's off, X.
I know it's off for a minute. I told you what I do for a quick minute, then I pop back in.
Yeah.
All right.
Just mute your mic too when you're doing that.
Not bad. I'm not doing that. Oh, wow.
How would they know? Your camera is off.
Wow.
Because I don't want nobody should see me smoking on a podcast. Okay.
You shouldn't be smoking during the podcast.
That's why.
Yeah, that was a podcast from the 60s. When we're all like.
I was born in the 60s. Remember?
Yeah.
There you go.
This is a no smoking show, sir.
That's why I use my camera.
Hold on, let me get. This is hilarious. Hang on a second, because I think we might. No, he went. Hold on.
What did I just see? Darth Praxis?
Oh, this is hilarious.
Oh my God,
Peter.
You said
Peter,
I'm coming in. I'm not being substituted for nobody. That's what you did, Praxis.
It's kind of funny, yeah, because now we're gonna have 5 tonight, Peter.
5.
Hang on 1 second.
We have majority rule. I don't know.
Oh, hang on. No, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on, I did the wrong thing. Now I'm just all kinds of Mav. What's up, man?
He's busy. Don't bother him.
Trying to.
Is he froze?
No.
I think he's trying to figure out.
He's typing or he's reading something.
Oh, gotcha.
I saw his head bob.
All right, we've got
breaking news.
All right, hang on. Let me get. So now I got to set 2 people up. God damn it.
Well, if you do one, might as well do 2. You know.
Might as well. This is going to boy. This is gonna be a fun couple hours.
Yeah,
Hey, I was here on time. I was here
we have
early.
2 squares.
You were. We do have 2
It's-
squares. I do have the correct. I got the correct
I am
OBS scene
not
up.
a square. Thank you.
You hear me?
It's like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh,
Okay.
there's Mav. Hang on.
I
I'm
had to
getting
get
everybody
my
together.
horses
All right.
right.
All right. Hang on. I'm getting everybody.
Oh, he's doing
Let
the
me-
camera organization
All right.
now. I saw
Yeah,
him moving.
well,
it.
no, I got enough people. I just gotta.
Box him in. Oh man,
Yeah.
Mav, stop that! I'm getting dizzy, man.
All right. Hang on.
Skype's weird.
This is-
It's like everything is in a different place.
Well, yeah, because you're used to using Zoom. All right, hang on, let me.
Nah, they use Skype over there. Where not Skype, but what's the
You don't
ducky
use-
thing again?
I was gonna say you don't use Skype.
No, I use Zoom.
Yeah, he uses Zoom.
Okay,
There we
Zoom.
go. Brother Mav, brother Praxis, what's going on, boys? Happy Tuesday night.
Oh.
It's been a while since we've
Darth,
had you
Darth
on, Mav.
made it.
Yeah,
That's
He did.
How you feeling,
did.
Darth? How you
Well,
feeling,
not too
man?
bad. Too bad.
Doing good?
Getting
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's my
Good.
hometown treating you today, Praxis?
Your hometown, huh?
You're from Chicago, just like me.
No, I'm not from Chicago. It's, if only.
If only. Oh, my bad. I got you confused. I'm
I
getting
think
old,
you-
man.
He's
I-
not
my
into
memory
deep
is
dish,
just
so
totally
that's
messed
he's
up.
out.
I'm not one of the Blues Brothers. I'm sorry.
We're not going there. Oh yeah, we got a pack of
He's on a
cigarettes.
mission from
We
God.
got our sunglasses and a pack of bubble gum. Let's go.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Look at Myke getting the spots done on the overlay on the fly. Amazing.
I know, right?
Hey, I picked, because there's only 3 people, because I was trying to figure out where Darth was. So this is like the 5-man team, man. So hold on, in honor, see, because you missed the opening, I got to do this real quick.
Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming.
That idiot. Jesus Christ. Can't you get something that's good?
That was that. As soon as you left that in our Discord, I'm like, holy shit! I'm putting that in a bumper.
Well, you know what really kills me is I did that on my phone. I didn't even do it with my mic.
Dude, it sounds amazing. Like it sounded perfect. So,
Well, I appreciate
oh
it.
my goodness, yeah. So,
I
Don't be
knew
too
that was
perfect,
Darth
because
when
then
I heard
it doesn't match
I
matches
knew
our
it
show.
was Darth.
That's not perfect. Exactly.
Oh, I heard him
Welcome
do a
to
lot
the
worse
show.
voices than that. I was there.
Thank you.
Cousin Board said, Mav, you need to wear a cowboy hat. What's up with the Eagles hat?
Oh,
What is
This
that?
is
Oh,
an
that is
Eagles
a da-
hat.
Oh.
The Eagles
The
hat.
Dallas Stars,
This is the
man.
Dallas Stars hat. Come on.
He's
Now.
got the Dallas Stars, which
Think
are
I would
green.
dare?
Which is
That's
that
hot.
Philly. It's that Philly green though. What's up with that?
you're gonna run him out of
I would-
town.
If I had an Eagles hat, I would immediately get lice.
Exactly.
Okay? Like
Get lice.
that ain't touching my head, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
His
Oh,
body
like-
would reject
You
it.
can't
Like-
You probably get hives from it.
Oh my
There's
lord!
like this polar vortex on my head that would not even allow it to encapsulate the crown of my skull. It would just
He'd have a
Popping
fucking
off.
stroke. I mean, Jesus. Oh,
Yeah.
too soon? Sorry.
Are you trying to say your head would make
Oh,
that hat
my
do an
God.
ejecto seat?
oh yeah, instantly. Yeah.
Oh
But
my
an
god! So it's
eagle-
great
oh.
to have it. It's.
Oh,
You did come in with the Philly green though, is it?
green
That's
is
like,
a
all right, this is
great
the
Dallas
last
color.
time
You
it
got
comes.
green with the Mavericks. You got green with the Stars. Come on. It's
I
not
thought
my.
the
It's not my fault. The
Hey, Pat,
Eagles
hold
want a
on.
copycat.
I thought the Dallas Mavericks were blue.
I mean,
They got
when
blue
do you
and
see a
green.
green eagle? Only when it's sick, right? So
Traditionally, the Mavs in the 80s and 90s were green, and then they switched to blue in the 2000s. Now they rock both. So
That's
Stars have been traditionally green.
Okay, because I mean the logo of the Mavericks is clearly blue and white.
Yeah, not the original one.
No.
Unless you're colorblind.
Sports.
Sports. Star Trek griddles. What are we doing?
Yo, man, don't you stop dissing Star Trek. You leave Star Trek alone.
My favorite color
Yobi's-
is dark gray, but light gray is nice too.
50 Shades of Grey.
Are you trying to say smoke gray?
No, it was a colorblind joke. I'm sorry.
Hold on, I'm gonna go get my collection of hats real quick.
Oh Lord!
Gonna show us how many Eagles hats he actually has. I got this one signed.
That's not fair.
Right. Signed by Terrell Owens.
Oh God. I actually had a signature from him, I think, a long time ago when he was in the Warriors.
Dude, what?
Oh, huh? I don't know.
He said he had a
Terrell
signature shirt when Terrell Owens was on what's that stupid team again?
Back when they were good, you know, even though they're good, I don't like them. Like, I don't know. When they become champions, it like loses the mystique of rooting for a shitty team. I like rooting for shitty teams. When they start going to championships and winning, it's like, fuck them. I ain't watching them anymore. Jesus, unless it's baseball. If it's baseball, it's okay. I'm fine. But basketball, no, they gotta be shitty. Like, ugh.
Wait, are we talking about the same guy? Because I don't think Terrell Owens ever played basketball.
I think I probably missed. I probably missed something there. It's okay. That's how old I am. I forgot. There's many Owens. Sorry.
With people and on things, so Terrell Owens can play a little basketball.
All right. Well, while Mav goes and gets his collection of hats, Darth, how are you doing, man? Welcome to the show. It is a pleasure to have you. Dude, when you were
it's a pleasure being had.
You were serious. Yeah, I wasn't sure you were serious when you said any time you wanted. So I was like, oh no. Hell yeah, we're having you this Tuesday.
There you go. I got no problem.
Picked a wonderful Tuesday to come on too.
I see his lonely little Dreamcast sitting up there in the back.
Yeah, I know.
That is
a decoy.
That is a thing of absolute.
Ignore that.
That is a thing of absolute beauty, Darth. Do
I
not
know,
let
I got
anybody.
sitting right here next to me.
Right next to his.
It's plugged in. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what you're trying to tell me. Yeah. Plug yours in, Darth.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
What, you gonna play it?
What is on top of it though?
Oh.
You really did not have to go and change your hat. I was just busting your balls, man.
Oh God, he brought out a cowboy hat. Okay, it's time for me to go.
He really did
I'm
not
going
have
to
to go
sleep.
change your hat.
Old man's going to sleep now.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh man,
it
that's
was
fun.
gift from my daughter. It was a little pink skull.
Nice.
It's a candle.
Very nice. It's a candle. There you go.
Yeah, I told her
that
don't
a
burn it
PS?
on the freaking Dreamcast or I'll kill her.
You got the skull. Did you have to run out of the cave when a boulder was chasing you?
Maybe. None of your damn business.
Is that it? Oh, now he's just changing hats like on the fly.
He said
Yeah.
he his
Now he's
collection.
just
Look at that.
throwing all
My
of his
God,
hats on.
Jesus Christ.
Man,
There
that
you
is a
go.
big D
He's-
you got there. I'm impressed.
He
Oh,
just wants us to.
Jesus.
Now you know why they
Wow,
call it.
man.
Oh, now you know why they call it
Oh.
Star State. Jesus Christ.
It's the Mav Hat
Whole
Show.
just
Hang on a
switching
second.
hats, dude.
Hang on a second. Wait for it. Hold on.
Oh no.
It's the Mav Hat Show. Wait, what hat is that? Oh, is that the Rangers?
You put him on two screens.
All right.
Absolutely. I got more downstairs, but I didn't want to run out of breath.
That is outstanding.
Why am I
That's
on
wonderful.
Hold on. I had to put him on the big screen for a second because he was. I forgot what I was doing.
Is that for the Tennessee
There we
Titans?
go. Okay.
Don't confuse yourself, damn it.
Right. As Mav was praising me for my camera work earlier. Oh my God. All
Great
right.
job,
So,
Myke.
thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
It's a pleasure
Somebody
to-
did it.
It's a pleasure to be here. Darth.
Yes, sir.
You know, we do this to all of our first-time guests. I remember we did this to Mav a long time ago when he was our first-time guest. We've got to learn, because I haven't really gotten to know you as well, and I don't know how many people in the chat actually know you. We got to hear the origin. We asked the origin story of all of our first-time guests.
Jesus.
How
that's terrible. Why would you do that?
How Anakin Praxis, little Anakin gamer Praxis, becomes Darth Praxis, and what you like to play and what you like to do. We want to hear the story.
I have a
you have a Dreamcast back there, so I know you have a Dreamcast back there, so I know you play older games. So
I know how he was born. He was born in a bathtub full of water. Mm-hmm.
He was a bath baby.
He was a bath baby.
Okay, this took a weird turn early.
Yeah.
That's not the bath bomb I ordered.
Ow.
He was a water baby. His mom was just trying to hold him under long enough to, test it out, see if he'd make it.
And this might be true, but I'm not telling.
This might be true.
I don't know. Does that they call that baptism now, right?
I don't know what they call it. But
I'm not sure. I'm Jewish.
I call it a near-death experience, but
Okay.
But I figured the amniotic fluid is like water. You might as well come out in water.
Well, thank you.
What the hell has happened here?
I don't know.
What is happening here?
Okay, I don't want to do the origin story. Go ahead and do it now.
I want to. So
many years ago.
Yes, here we go. All right, young Praxis.
So my dad got me into games when I was really little, like 6 years old, 5, 6. The 2600. The first thing I ever played was Pong, and he bought a little old Pong console years ago. That was what he was into. So my dad was an old school gamer, and then he got me into the Atari systems, and we got all of those through the late 70s, early 80s, and been doing that. And got on a whim, my dad went and bought an NES. When we went to a store one time, he was like, "Oh, look, that's out." He went and bought it. It was like not Christmas or anything. He just got it, and we went home and started playing it. And so he was all into games for years and years and years. Wow. And so that kind of started me off. And then just during high school, or just the end of high school, we started hearing about, I wanted to go to the Consumer Electronics Show, but it was just too far away. I wasn't quite as old as X-Men. I couldn't go to it. It was Vegas and Chicago, and that wasn't happening.
So I did the one in Chicago.
Yep, I knew you did. I've
been to the one in Chicago.
Yeah, you been there?
I've been to Summer CES.
Oh, Summer CES. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I was interested in doing that, but it was just always too far away. And then over time, a buddy of mine started working right out of high school for a game it was actually like a retailer. And for whatever reason at the time, they gave passes for people to go to E3 when it first came out. And so we were able to go to the inaugural E3 in '95. And so my buddy and me went. And then the next year, his brother and I went to the '96 one where the N64 was released or shown. And in the '95 when they released the Saturn, like the day we were there. So like they shadow dropped it, and we're like, what the fuck? So it's crazy. Like, seriously? And then we went home and went and bought it. Just kooky. But yeah, I've been into it for a long time. I was one of those idiots that bought a Jaguar, and then I, 3 years later, took a sledgehammer to it and destroyed it. So yeah, did the right thing.
Give me that is high five worthy right there. I had a Jaguar. I had the Jaguar CD, man. Don't.
Well, oh man, you went the extra mile. You got the toilet seat. That is awesome.
I was hard,
man.
I was hardcore.
That's the best ever. You put the cartridge in. It looks like the back of the toilet. The whole thing. It's amazing. When I was at CES, I think it was '95. I saw Trammell there, the president of Atari, and I got to talk to him for like a couple of minutes. And they had the VR that they were trying to push for the Jaguar, which is hilarious. It was so terrible. You know, it was a bad VR anyway, and they were like, "This runs on the 64-bit system. It's amazing." Like, yeah, no, it's not.
You know what else is amazing? Drawn TJ with a $5 super chat. He says, "Hi guys, just wanted to stop by and say hi. Listen to the show tomorrow during work."
Oh, love you, TJ. And damn, Peter, that was
HTK, that was
masterclass.
smooth.
Yeah,
That
sometimes I
was
can be
masterclass.
It all depends if I got looped up. You know,
Is
it's like-
the Jaguar? That was Atari's last console, right?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
Is there another one that came out? I know they got like the Atari Lives and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
No.
don't they have the
Well,
VCS thing or whatever?
Well,
They
the
do have
latest,
that,
the
but
latest
yeah.
one is the VCS, which I have, which is it's
it
all
holds
right.
its,
It's
it holds
basically a
its
mini
own for
PC.
what
I mean,
it
they
is.
don't
It's
make
a
new
mini-
games for the VCS though, do
Yeah,
they?
actually,
yes. Oh
they do.
yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a little bit of Atari news we'll talk about after my bloodletting.
Yeah. So they Atari just also made an acquisition or something, I think. For
A couple of acquisitions, and we could talk about that tonight because they're on the move. I'm actually
New Atari, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they're on the
Interesting.
move, and they actually they bought some things from another friend of mine. So we'll talk about that. But the Jaguar, it's funny you bring up the Jaguar because in its own bizarro way, Jaguar was the thing that first prompted Sega to lose its mind and become stupid. So,
You mean with the whole race and
With the
showing
thir-
how
with the
amazing
30
we are? Look, 64-bit.
No,
Oh,
yes.
what?
Yes, we have to make the 32X instead of concentrating on the Saturn.
Yeah, that was
The
that was-
32X was a response to the Jaguar.
Yeah, it was a terrible response. I have a 32X as
Yes,
well.
it
so.
was.
If
I
only
had
they
it.
knew nobody
Yeah.
ever had to respond to the Jaguar.
No,
Right.
no, it was a bad. It was yeah. Anybody with any technical capability looking at it, they're like, just do the math. I'm like, yeah, that's all you guys did. You looked at the chips and you added the numbers and said 64. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is that?
Oh, TJ is relaxing in a hot tub. He's not working.
No, it's not working.
So-
How do you
It's
know what
working
you don't know what he's
Come
doing?
on.
Maybe
It's
that's
working
work.
it. It's not working. Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know who he's working on. See, that's
He
the
can
problem.
be a hot tub.
Why are people
Water seller.
wait? Why are people disparaging the Jaguar though? I will go back to Tempest 2000.
Is that a
Defender
real
2000.
question, Mike?
Yeah.
Tempest 2000 was
And-
like the best game they ever made. It was like the one that's
Alien versus Predator.
Alien versus Predator was okay. It wasn't too bad.
Oh my gosh.
But I was one of those people that I was so hardcore. I actually ordered an S video cable for it from Redmond Cable when it first came out. Like a week after I got it, I got that cable just so I can have S video instead of composite. But look, it's so much better.
Yep.
And I was all happy. And then I played my first game, which was the stupid like Star Fox looking thing. I can't think of the name of it.
Cybermorph.
With no. Cybermorph was Cybermorph. It was the guy to look like Star Fox's character. I can't remember. It was
Trevor McFur.
Trevor McFur. That's what it was. Dude,
Trevor McFur.
I was like,
and
where-
the crescent
where's-
crescent something or other.
where's the Crescent Galaxy?
The
I
Crescent
was
Galaxy.
like, did you notice there was no music in the game? I was like, did they forget
Yes.
something? Where's
They
all
also
I heard
forgot
was
to make it
bleeps
3D.
and boops and like there's no music in this game. What's going on here? It was just strange. And I tried to play it and it was a mess. I'm like, oh God, what the fuck did I buy? And then I played Cybermorph and heard her sit there making fun of me bouncing off shit all the time. I'm like, okay, I hate you.
learn to fly.
Is the Jaguar controller the worst controller ever made?
That big old
What?
fat thing.
Well, Atari was involved in
I-
making some of the worst controllers in history. The
I would
5200
say
is
the
pretty bad.
5200 controller was worse than the Jaguar controller.
Which one?
The Jaguar controller, at least the 5200 controller, is
Yes,
worse than the Jaguar
yes.
controller.
When it didn't last that long. The 5200 controller did not last
Well-
that long. You would wear out that
No.
joystick so fast.
But if you-
it was ridiculous.
If you look at them though, you realize that they took the 5200 controller and they used it to make the Jaguar controller. Because I was looking at like, oh my God, look at all the buttons. And then the overlays, you could put the overlays in.
Yes.
I was
Well,
like,
you
oh,
could thank
God.
Intellivision and Coleco for that.
Yeah, but
No.
that was like the 70s and I'm looking at this and it's the 90s. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
No,
Right.
and television had it where you can put the card in, or slide the card in over the numbers, and you could do different controller schemes for it. So
like
blame that
no
on
games for
Intellivision for that idea.
No game for the Jaguar did that.
We got 2 more super chats, both from Drawn TJ, $2. Tomorrow, listen to the show during work. And then he says for $5 super chat, I hope we see gameplay for State of Decay 3. It's been 5 years of development.
Oh yeah, and all we've seen is a CGI. So anyway, we've gotten off the beaten path and talked about the Jaguar.
Yeah,
what
that's
about
fine.
Rayman? Rayman was a Jaguar game. The original Rayman.
It was good. I was so disappointed with my Jaguar just with the lack of support, and then when I heard they basically were abandoning it. No, then when they canceled it, when they were like, yeah, we're not going to make any more games for it.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, I took a sledgehammer to it. I smashed it into bits, and you realize I grew up in the Bay Area, so I drove to the front door of Atari's headquarters and dumped on their fucking front door and gave them the finger and then drove away. I was a little
that's
pissed.
what you call a protest.
Hold on. Please tell me there was someone there to document that.
No. It's just my buddies and I. We drove up. There was a poor secretary who was looking at us like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And we're like, "Fuck you!" And she's like, "What did I do?" We drove away. So I kind of felt bad. That's what happened. So yeah,
wow.
Good times.
I was a little upset. I traded in my Jaguar to get. This will be my happy positive Xbox thing for the night. I traded in my I traded in my Jaguar to get my Xbox One, my original day one Xbox One.
That's a great decision.
And do you know how much your Jaguar is worth now?
Yeah.
It's probably worth a lot now, right?
Like $400 or $500.
Just
probably.
about 7.
Yeah.
So
That's why you don't trade anything in.
So it's almost worth as much as a Neo Geo was when it first was new, right?
I had that too and traded that in to get my PlayStation 4.
Actually, that was the bad decision because that
was a dumb
lot of
decision.
money.
But you know what though? So I'm
without-
not as much a. Here's the thing: I'm not as much a collector anymore, and honestly, I could emulate the Neo Geo games really well. So it was just like they were taking up shelf space that I didn't have. So I'm not as upset about it as believe it or not. I'm actually more upset about the Jaguar because the homebrew community for the Jaguar has been really cool.
Oh yeah,
and there's some
Myke,
good stuff on it.
It's not about I can get these games on emulation. It's just that pride to know that you have that system in your collection.
Well,
yeah.
You know what? I have the Amazing Spider-Man Web of Fire in my collection, and that doesn't. It's a $1,500 game that I wouldn't play on a dare.
Really?
Oh, it's a horrible game. It's the 32X Spider-Man game. It is a horrible friggin' game, but it's worth $1,500 because it's one of the few remaining. First off, it's one of the few remaining 32X games that probably only 100 people have, and it's
probably
Sega. Oh shit!
The rest will smash it to bits.
Oh god, yeah, I think I might have thrown that in. You know,
it's Sega and Marvel.
32X. You know that. It makes me wonder. I might have even owned that game. I don't know. I'd have to find all my console stuff. I think it's at my parents' house in California.
Totally by accident that I still have. It's still by accident I have all my 32 games, but now I'm not getting rid of them ever.
You'll be buried
all right.
with
So
those
anyway,
suckers.
Jaguar. Okay. I'm sorry. I have derailed you because you.
I'm all good. I'm all good. We catch up to date. I played a bunch of Xbox games.
Praxis, you're here. Do not ever mention griddle. Leave that phrase alone.
Oh, okay. For good Lord.
Okay. It means nothing to me. I don't care. We keep going.
My man.
All right, so Xbox.
So going through, I was a big Nintendo fan for years and years, and Sega. I had every console, And then when the Xbox came out, the first Xbox, actually a buddy of mine talked me into it really bad because he modded it and was like, here, we got to try all this stuff. And it was terrible. We did terrible things. First Xbox, great system. I had a bunch of games. I had a bunch of games I shouldn't have had, but there you go. And then after that, I just kind of, when the 360 came out, that's when the whole Darth Praxis thing came out. I actually had a different username for a while, and I of all things, I started playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, the original one, Call of Duty 4, and when I was on there, I must have been toxic as hell because I was getting like threats, and people, back then it was open season. Anybody could say anything, anytime, at all times, and people would send you horrible messages, and it could get really bad. So I was doing that for too long, and I realized I can't do this anymore. I got to get away from these people. So I had to make a new username, and so I switched, and I just came up with Darth Praxis, and so that's where that came from.
So you got tired of all the little kids on there swearing up and down for no reason.
At that time, it wasn't as many little kids as you think. There were some big kids there too.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy ones, crazy people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you think it's bad there? You should have been there on the OG Xbox playing online. It was worse. It was way worse.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing.
Uh-oh.
Myke fell into the void.
Huh? What'd you say, Mav?
You were gonna say something.
I said Myke fell into the void, like just kind of disappeared when he was talking.
Well, he is playing Star Wars Survivor, so come on.
No, I was listening. I was intently. I enjoy these stories. I really do. I enjoy listening to people's. We always learn something that we don't know about people here, and that's what I like. So, Jago just couldn't. He's got to listen to the spicy take tomorrow.
That's Jago.
Well, he was late. He was late. We have to do our traditional thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, get him, Darth. So.
Just letting him know. Yeah. Make sure you fluff your pillow, get a nappy poo. It's okay, buddy. We'll be here for you.
Holy shit, this is great.
You think so?
What are the types of things that you actually enjoy playing?
Oh, right now, I'm addicted to Modern Warfare just for one specific reason. I'm a completionist with certain things in unlocking certain things, and if it takes too long, I still like bang my head against the wall. I mean, I put an enormous amount of hours in Destiny 1 and 2, like an insane amount, and I just did it because I just was like going after work and playing something that I enjoyed, like stress relief. I guess that's the best way to put it, and that's kind of my Call of Duty thing right now. With everything that's going on with me medically, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play something that's going to just get the stress out. I don't need any more of that. So Call of Duty, I've been doing that. Monster Hunter, the new DLC released, and I still haven't jumped into it again, but I've got that one that I've got to put some time in. I got Jedi Survivor that I just got, and I'll need to start playing that one pretty soon. So, but yeah, I like playing everything. The new Forza game when it comes out, that's going to be something I pour some time into. Yeah.
Please hurry up and bring that out. I'm tired of waiting for that.
I know.
Oh man,
2023 is half over. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to do an endurance race with Praxis on Forza.
Oh God,
that's gonna be fun.
24-hour Le Mans. There we go.
With all difficulties set to maximum.
I do have my steering wheel right up there in the shelf, so
I see that steering wheel.
I got a full racing rig on PC. I'm good.
Oh my God.
You knew that though.
I know.
He's seen it. Everybody has seen it.
No, not
kind of like showing everybody my griddle.
Not everybody.
Everybody's seen us.
Yeah, I don't expand on my racing rig more than you expand on your griddle, dude. Come on.
I had one of those. Not the same brand. I had Blackstone or something like that. I can't remember the name, but I used it quite a bit.
What
it was really good. I got rid of it because it sat outside for a year without me using it.
Oh, you mean like mine? Like my Blackstone doing the same
thing. I used it and it was great, but then I realized it's too damn hot in Texas to sit out there in front of a grill in the summer and grill over that thing. So it's worse than like an actual grill because you got to sit there and you got all the it's so hot, man.
It so it don't burn. Yeah,
it is hot and it's great, but I could use it for like a month out of the year without almost dying. So I decided to get rid of it.
Like, look, we're gonna oven grill this today. We ain't going outside.
That's a shame.
I've gone through 3 covers on mine, and I swear to God, I've re-seasoned it like 3 times with the weather. And I gotta get I bought a grinder just to frickin' resurface it so I could use again.
Yeah,
it doesn't help it. It doesn't help. You're over there with salt water, dude. That does not do that stuff any good.
No.
The ocean salt water.
I knew how to maintain that really well, so I didn't really ever have any problems with that.
You couldn't live with the heat. You're like, that's enough of that.
Yeah, that's enough of that. And that's why I got the one I got is I don't have to season it and all that nonsense.
Oh,
well, I'm in the middle ground. I'm good. I'm in Memphis. I'm in the middle ground of heat and cold, so I'm good.
So you don't have a cast? Yours isn't cast iron, Myke?
It's not. It's ceramic.
Oh, that sucks. I'm just kidding.
Actually, the ceramic's pretty good.
No, it's awesome. Very non-stick. It's very cool. So, and I don't have to take a grinder to it every 6 months. I have seen people who have had to sand theirs down and literally which you can do with it, but I don't have to. That's one thing I don't have to do with mine. I've got.
If you just oil it after you use it, you're good to go. That's you just clean it and oil it.
Well, my flat top is
which
stainless.
this one you don't even have to do.
That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got it. It sat outside to the point where I found that stainless will actually rust. Yes, if you leave it out long enough.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I got to grind it because it's a mess.
You had a hibachi.
And Myke, you get a lot of snow, so you better do something when that snow comes. Bring it in or put it in the garage or something.
No, it's under. So it's under.
Just keep it on when
it's
snow falls.
It's under. That's right. It's under. In fact, the book even says when it gets cold, that doesn't mean anything. No, I actually have it. You guys don't see. It's under my covered deck, so no snow is going to hit it. The biggest thing I have to worry about is pollen.
Snow blows. Yeah, snow does blow left to right.
It doesn't blow on an upward deck, on a second level deck.
You just have to dig a trench to it. After that, you're good.
Good Lord.
Scepter Receiver says he wonders what Phil Spencer's grill looks like. Must be interesting, right?
Oh, Phil just catered. Got a guy to come in.
Right.
He don't grill nothing.
That's what Mav does. Mav's like, fuck this grilling crap.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
gonna
Mav, right.
Somebody bring it to me. No.
I'm pretty good on the grill. That thing was ridiculous. Like,
the flat top.
Like, come here, kid. I got a job for you.
Let's see. I watch Caitlin's TikTok videos. Mav does not have to worry about anybody who can't cook. Your wife can cook her ass off. She makes some amazing freaking stuff. At least from the pictures.
No, it tastes better than the pictures.
We're going.
I mean, Mav is still alive, so it must be definitely nutritious and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been eating her food for 20 years, man. I'm still here. You know.
She's watching this, right? Okay, just making sure.
Oh man. So hey, we got some of your brethren have come into the chat here, Mav. Brother 3-Bit is here.
Yes.
BarQ. I love it. Oh, I love it. So
didn't even need
and what's up?
Yeah.
No, you really don't. And what's up? What's up, Axel? Brother Axel's in the house. All right. So Sir X-Man has done his job, and we have somehow brought up the frickin' griddle. Mav, what have you been playing lately?
MLB
and
The
then
Show.
We're gonna get to it.
A lot.
Ah.
Yeah,
That
I
game
hooked on it. I've always played the show. It was amazing that it came to Game Pass, but I kind of really got back into it this year, like full force. So the show I've been playing a lot of. I'm dabbling in Jedi Survivor. I haven't checked out the new patch today, so I need to do that. I had kind of taken a break because they need to fix the performance mode in that game. It's got a lot of issues, right? But
it's got some jolting.
Yeah.
To it. It does.
So once I'm hoping that patch ironed a lot of that stuff out. Other than that, I've been just dabbling in this and that, man. Lots of stuff to play. There's no shortage. That's for damn sure.
No,
No.
there's no shortage. But you're like me though, right? You're waiting for that 60 patch for Redfall.
Yeah, I'm not playing Redfall until they get the 60 patch. I did like boot it up on the PC to see what I could get out of it. And I also played like a few minutes just to see what it looked like on the Series X on Kate's account, because she was excited, but she was disappointed, So she decided she's gonna wait too. And I will play on Series X once that update comes out. There's a lot of other issues with the game besides that. Was weirdly though, I can get close to 60 frames on my old PC that's got a RX 590 in it. I put it at 1080p. But with FSR 2.1 and quality mode, you get a really clear image and close to 60 frames. I hit 60 quite frequently, but it's in the mid upper 50s maintaining that. And that's at medium settings, so I could even drop something down here and there if I wanted to get 60 smooth. But besides that, it still has the other like stuttering problems that everybody has on PC. Even if you got like a 3090 or whatever, it's still having these crazy issues on PC. So it's just not worth diving into. It's a game I wanted to enjoy. I'm not as excited for it anymore as I was because of based on what I did play of it, I can tell it's not going to be the bee's knees, right? So I'm just tempered my expectations, but that doesn't mean I can't have fun. I'm looking forward to giving it a go later once the update's out and trying to have fun with it and see what happens. But it was a big miss for Xbox this year, I think, and more so than that, it was a missed opportunity for them. I think releasing it in the state that it was with the bugs and the performance was the main issue. If they don't hit on their creative vision and stuff like that, not every game's going to be the best, and maybe people would have still had issues and stuff like that. But when you compound the technical issues on top of that, like it just makes it even worse. So they should have delayed it a little bit further.
I mean, if the box says 60 FPS and they have to scratch that out, it's like what the
exactly.
heck?
That's the one thing. I know you're going to talk about Phil's comments and stuff a little bit later, but that's the only thing really that I disagreed with him with as far as like Redfall went. It was when he said, like, when he was asked the question, what goes into deciding to delay a game, right? And he kind of like skirted around that question with like, well, if they're not meeting the creative vision, then that's just, they're not going to hit that. Well, that's fine, but you still should have delayed it for those technical issues because they're pretty prominent throughout the game. And once you say 60, and he went into why they're not going to hit it and all that kind of stuff. But then when he says, yeah, they have a plan in place that they are going to get it fixed, well, then why not wait to release the game until that happened? Right. So that was my main.
Yeah, it's not that Xbox is strapped for cash to keep that studio going. So
true.
Exactly. Maybe they were just like, hey, let's just get this game out. But like I'm never in the mentality of, hey, let's an entire performance mode that was supposed to be there, or like bugs that are game breaking or crashes or the PC issues, the stuttering, all that stuff is like, hey, cool, release it and then fix it later. That's not a great way to launch a game. It's not going to give people a good appetite. I will say though that there's a big double standard out there. Redfall wasn't received well because of other reasons. Therefore, the reviews just highlighted all the technical issues. But for a lot of people, actually, Jedi Survivor has more technical issues with performance than Redfall does, and crashes. And those just completely got glossed over by games media because it's a good game, right? Yep. So I feel like there's I've been this past 2 weeks I've been like attacking double standards. It's like my goal. You have been. Right now. Yep. I'm just like high on attacking double standards with the games media and these false narratives and stuff. Like Xbox had a miss here, right? But to act like no other companies released bad games or have had misses before is a complete misnomer as well. And to act like that Redfall is the definition of what Xbox is is also a huge mistake. When you look at everything they've already released this past year, everything that they're investing in with all these games coming, highly reviewed games over the last couple years that have released as well, to put Redfalls in, they have a quality problem all of a sudden. Yeah, they have a quality problem with one game, but really throughout the last few years, there hasn't been a quality problem. Halo Infinite had a content problem after post-launch. Nobody was complaining about the quality of Halo Infinite at launch, right? Like, so I feel like there's this narratives that get thrown out there. And meanwhile, PlayStation this year has one big first-party game set to maybe release at the end of this year. And everybody's talking about Xbox has content issues. Where are the games still? And all this narratives now is like, why aren't we talking about PlayStation right now? Where's the PlayStation first-party games, right? Like, it's just double standards out there all over the place. And that's what I've been doing besides playing games and working.
You want to hear something real quick that I've heard? And I've actually tested it the other day after playing with Hams and K-Mega. The Redfall actually runs better on the Series S than it does on the X.
Yeah.
Probably because of resolution, right?
Yeah. I would think so.
It's running at 1080.
Yes, I'm not sure why it does, but it just runs so much better on the lower system.
It runs it because it runs at 1080p.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just cracks me up.
Now here's my question.
And everybody talks about the S bad, but it's running the game. Oh, go ahead, Peter.
Why isn't there a toggle like we have in PC, right? You can run in a low, medium, high, ultra high, whatever. Why on the Series X can't you say run it on low, which is like the Series S equivalent?
Because
it's left to the developer.
Yeah.
Right.
Console players treated
I don't think we've
second-class citizens, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. But at the same time,
I mean, it's just a different,
Well, think about this.
There whatever. I mean, you should be able to just. I think it might be part of the,
But think about
OS
this, Peter.
itself.
There are more people that have an S out there because they can't find an X anyway, and the S is still sold more. There are more people having a better time with Redfall than we are on the higher console, the X. That's kind of funny, ain't it?
Well, and that's a requirement of the developer. The developer wants to have a specific. They want a specific thing out of the game. And the problem, I think, really is that there should be a criteria that they all hold to, rather than, my vision is to have this game run 480, 4K, run 4K, and then doesn't matter if it's 30 frames per second. And we have ray tracing, everything's on. We want it to look as beautiful as possible. And everybody's like, I don't want to play 30 frames per second. Well, that's not our vision. And that's what bugs me. Because
the thing is, it was their vision in this game. Because
I know, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. It's terrible. I understand that that's their vision, but they should also be able to make it for gamers that are like, look, we want to play it a little quicker, and you should be able to drop it down to 40 or 1440p and run it at 60.
Right.
Dump
TVs
ray tracing.
And most TVs upscale it anyway to like the other, the 1080p, the 4K. Yeah, upscale it to 4K. Let the TV do the work.
Because most TVs don't natively do 1440
for the game to run right.
Even your console upscales it to 4K.
Right.
To 4K if that's your output. So it's
right.
Yeah. But the native resolution needs to be set correctly. And the problem is if the native resolution is held to 4K, it's not going to matter whatever you do, because that's what it's going to be pushing. Even if you change the resolution of the Xbox to 1080p, it's pushing 4K and running it down to 1080p. So it's still going to have all those problems because they don't give you the control to actually change it. And that is a frustrating thing. And that's where, if it was more like a PC, yes, it would be far easier and better for basically everybody, because we could do the things we want to do.
Yeah.
But
And
Darth,
the fact is,
they were doing that at the beginning with the games. When they first started coming out with Xbox Series X games, they were giving you the ability in pretty much all the games that were coming out where you could shift it to high resolution mode, or you could put it on performance.
Most games that come out,
doing that.
Most games that come out still have that. It's just when the ones that don't, there's like a handful, like Gotham Knights, Redfall, right? You can.
But Redfall was supposed to have it.
Exactly.
That's
Gotham Knights, they said they couldn't. Like so for Redfall, the main issue is time.
Right.
Because they just didn't get it finished. I mean, that's bottom line what it is. They waited to optimize for the console versions last. They obviously didn't have enough time to get everything done that they wanted to do. And they decided to go ahead and release the game anyway. And that's what I have a problem with.
Me too.
Go ahead.
Phil said in that interview, and I guess now's a good time, Peter, if you want to hit it up.
What about Phil?
What about Phil?
What about him?
You know,
Oh Lord,
he said that they should have gotten their internal teams over to Arcane earlier to help them out, which is
with how much they were advertising and pushing this game, you think they might have done that.
That's what
the game sure looked nothing like the trailers that we saw. Nothing like it. And they were showing stuff that you were supposed to get. That's how the game's gonna look. That's how the game's gonna perform. And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm playing Left 4 Dead with not as many zombies? Why?
And I think
that's what I
think like Mav, I was in the same boat. Phil talked about the creative vision. I care about the creative vision. I was fine with the creative vision. The creative vision isn't what was wrong. That's not what people were complaining about. That's not what I was complaining about.
There are people complaining about that, though.
Well, but those, I mean,
other stuff, you know.
Well, you mean the storybook?
It ain't all about the 60 frames per second part. It's more about how the game looks too. The game does not look like a next generation game. No, and all the trailers we saw look like
you don't have to have it look like.
Like
you don't have to have it look like a next generation game. I mean, look at Vampire Survivors. That one doesn't look like a next generation game. It's highly successful.
They faked us out with the trailer, though, Peter. When it said this is what the gameplay is, it said that on the description when they were showing the new trailer for it 2 weeks before the game came out. Get the game. It looks nothing like what that trailer looked like. I'm sorry, that's deception.
Well,
whether it was on Arcane or Microsoft, oh my God, Microsoft, that was deception to me. And that was the biggest part that bugged me. It did not look like graphically like what they put on with the average, because we were all hyped as heck when they showed that the preview 2 weeks before the game came out. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. Everybody's like, oh my God, that game looks so good. And then we played it. And then we saw it in real life. And it looks nothing like it, and I was thoroughly disappointed in the graphics. The graphics look just like last gen.
Well, I would say that's even the smallest point I would pick out. I'd say the gameplay is what really bugged me the most. It was just not. It felt undercooked.
But I can't exclude that. I can't exclude that part. Yeah. You know, you're right on a certain level, but when I'm expecting the game to, we've seen that a lot where games are shown.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't look nothing like the game that comes out.
That was my wife's biggest disappointment too. And I said like she was disappointed. She was looking at this like she was like, "This looks like ass," and she was looking forward to it. I tried to explain it's part of the frame rate, but like also it just didn't look like what it was supposed to look. What she had seen from all these trailers, these great trailers they had put out there, and all that stuff. She was sold on it. And then reality set in when you played it, it was like a different thing.
Yeah, 12 months ago they showed you the trailers. I mean, at that point you should know what the game is going to look like in production. You just picking up some stuff and
trailer that says that this is the gameplay of the game, and then when you get the game, it doesn't look like that. How many times have we seen this happen in the past 5 years?
Ubisoft.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's be. Hold on.
Cyberpunk.
Let's put Cyberpunk. Hold on. Let's put cards on the table. The Division, Watch Dogs.
No, Watch Dogs is
Abused.
The worst. Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Peter, we talked about Watch Dogs. Peter.
Pretty much every game.
Yeah.
And they're gonna blame it all on FIFA for all those games.
You know what? One game that hit above the expectations is Dead Island 2, as far as visual quality, performance, everything. But it still got like mediocre reviews because you know,
You're just
people
killing
are
zombies.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is,
boring.
right? It is what it is.
Oh yeah,
It's a fun game, but like they didn't get enough praise, I don't think, there for having that great polish when all these other games come out either broken or.
Can you imagine if Redfall looked like Dead Island 2? For God's sakes, it'd be insane.
It would be better.
It'd be better. It'd be insane. Dead Island 2 looks amazing.
And somehow Dead Island 2 figured out how to make that an Unreal Engine 4 with co-op.
Yeah.
When no other games can figure out how to do 60 frames.
I didn't know that.
Well, not no other game,
Four
but
player.
it seems like.
Wow.
But they also had 2 more years, right?
Well, wait, yeah, it could be that.
Developing that game. So
Yeah,
They
they did.
I didn't know it had co-op.
More time.
The last
That
developer
is true.
only worked on it for a few years though. So like they took over and worked it from scratch.
So who finished developing it? Because I know Techland was
Dam Busters, who used to be Crytek UK, which used to be Free Radical.
I love.
Whoa! I didn't.
I love.
Holy
Crytek.
crap! I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I mean, Crytek is one thing. Free Radical. Those are the Time Splitters guys. That's
So
that's a quality
Crytek,
studio.
I think, had originally acquired that team or whatever, and it became absorbed into Crytek, became Crytek UK. If I'm getting this right. But when Crytek ran into financial issues a few years back, they had to sell off Crytek UK. So they sold off Crytek UK. They became Dam Busters. They took over development for Dead Island 2. And they finished it up the last few years.
That's why I said, and every chance somebody asks me, what developers should they get? Microsoft should get Crytek, because that engine, and they're always improving on that engine, is still top of the line. And that would be good.
CryEngine's great, you know.
Yeah, that would be good for some of these games that you're having problems with. It's not crazy, it's Unreal, but it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it right.
Right, so you're pretty spot on, Mav. So Crytek UK, formerly known as Free Radical Design, subsidiary of Crytek. In 2014, they had to, because they couldn't pay wages. They were working on Homefront: A Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
They sold that franchise to Deep Silver, who now is owned by Embracer, by the way, and closed the studio.
Of course.
Most of its staff members were moved to Dam Buster Studios, a studio founded by Deep Silver in accordance with British law. So Dam Busters is part of Deep Silver, and they took over Dead Island 2 from Sumo.
Yeah.
And Crytek would be a reasonable get. It would not cost that much to get Crytek. It wouldn't send no red flags out there. No red flags out there.
Yeah, but do you want Crytek at this point?
Yeah.
I want Crytek anytime.
I would say yes, Mike, because the Crytek that we know of now that's making games like what's the Hunter Showdown and stuff like that, right? Right. They are trying to step back up. You know, they did the Crisis remastered trilogy. Now they also are putting stuff out there about making another Crisis game and hiring for that. They're also putting hints out there about another Rise in the future. I saw that. The Crytek's been down, right? But they're kind of on a resurgence a little bit internally with trying to get back on track. The key is with Crytek, the thing that I would say would be an asset for an acquisition is because they make great open worlds with first-person shooter mechanics. Like if people don't realize, they are the original creators of Far Cry.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Crytek created the Far Cry franchise for Ubisoft.
Yep.
Then Ubisoft, it's like, hey, we're going to do this ourselves. They took the Cry engine, they modified it, and became the Dunia engine, I think is what it's called, and they've been using it, a version of the Cry engine modified ever since then for Far Cry.
Tweaked.
And
more.
While Crytek went on without that financial support and kept trying different things and stuff, they invented Far Cry, then they went and invented Crysis, two of the best open world first person shooter games out there. Technically wise and also just gameplay wise is fantastic. So if you were like an Xbox or somebody and you got Crytek, what you're getting is more than just the whatever kind of games they're going to make. You're getting this technology and these engineers that know how to develop engines, right?
Well, technical know-how of how to build them to where they're functional and good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, they can do so much. Game, one thing I love about Crytek games is you can see so far in the distance with their engine. You very rarely see pop-ins playing a Crytek game. You very rarely see it, and it's just as smooth as butter. And you start moving towards it, and it still scales the area way ahead for you.
As long as your PC rig is built big enough.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it'll light your Xbox on fire.
There's that.
Yeah,
there's that.
Yeah, that's what AMD does too with the PCs, but
you don't have that no more, man.
literally.
When I crossfired my three 4090s together, I was able to finally see in the distance about a mile.
Oh, with the Crytek engine?
Even they got rid. I'm joking because in the 4000 series they got rid of SLI and Crossfire. I believe. I don't really think that's a thing anymore.
About the Crytek engine, we're playing. What was that? The game they had that people said, "Could you run this?" I keep forgetting names. I'm getting old.
It
was
Crisis.
Crisis.
That would be Crisis.
Crisis
That's
was
Crisis.
it was the gold standard.
Last generation, the 20 series games, the high-end 20 series games, they were still having problems running Crisis. They had to dummy it down. That I'm sorry, but they are ahead of their time as far as them and Unreal.
You could say they're ahead of their time, or they didn't know how to optimize. You can go both ways with that, but that's just me.
Yeah, they had a lot of issues with their. That's one of the things. That's the downside to Crytek is like their engine, as powerful and gorgeous as it is with capable, but they had always had some issues that because they wanted originally the Cry engine to kind of compete with like Unreal. They wanted to have it be like this thing that they would license out to other developers and stuff for use, but like nobody could really make anything with it. Like that's one of the reasons I think they kind of floundered so much. And then when they lacked budget or big budget on some of their games, they came out a little janky and stuff, you know. So it is what it is, right? Rise was an interesting game because it was originally supposed to be a Kinect game, and they had to kind of flip flop on that and change it to what it was.
It was still a Kinect game,
but it's still graphically that game still holds up today.
Oh yeah,
today, yep. I mean, it still has some Kinect elements in it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a full-on Kinect thing.
Don't you laugh at Kinect.
No, we were ready for Kinect 3.0.
I love Kinect, but I'm glad they didn't make it a full Kinect game. You know, there are some games that need to stay where they are with the controller. You know what I'm saying? Then that was one of them.
You could say Kinect. I could say VR. How about that?
Dude, I still play Dance Central. I used to.
Oh, Charlie, you did not. Charlie, no. None of you guys have missed this yet. We just got into it. We got veered off into Crytek.
Yes.
Don't worry, Charlie and Vic. You have not missed anything yet. Let me crack my knuckles here.
It's about to get hot in here.
Welcome to the clit. I mean, the clit.
Yeah, not like Texas, but it's about to get hot in here.
Are you trying to get us canceled on your first night here, Darth?
No, I'm trying to fill in for.
They really don't know you do that, Darth. They really don't know you do that.
Oh no, I know him. I just, tonight is apparently not the family-friendly talk night, Peter.
Well, these kids should be in bed going to school right now.
Sorry.
I mean, it's almost 11, so it's allowed.
All right.
Sorry, Paul's not here, so I had to call.
Oh, gosh, no, don't talk about it.
Yeah, Lord.
Oh, leave Cerebral alone, dude.
So, all right. Well, let's get to this. I'm going to keep this a little low at the moment. Shout out to Kind of Funny Games for supplying the internet with its porn for the last week. Because, boy, oh boy, was this a fun time to be on social media, I must say. So everybody knows by now that Kind of Funny Games with I can't remember the guy on the left because I don't watch this. And I know Gary Whitta and I know Paris.
Snowbike Mike.
I thought it was Richard Ledbetter from
No, it's not Richard Ledbetter. I know what that guy looks like. So. But shout out, what's his name? Skybox Mike?
Snowbike Mike.
Snowbike Mike.
Wow.
Snowbike Mike. Okay, well, shout out to Snowbike Mike's shirt because that that is a nice.
He's a cool dude. He does a great job on their show.
No, and honestly, he did a great job on this interview. I have to say, shout out to these guys because they did not. There was no
holding back.
There was no kissing ass in this interview. I have to. Not much anyway. There was obviously a little bit, but it wasn't. That wasn't the gist of it. So Phil comes on and gives about 40 minutes of some talk, and so I don't know about you guys, and Jago, I don't know if you're sleeping or not, but you know,
we'll hear it tomorrow otherwise. So.
Yes, you know, I want to start by saying that there are some things that in Phil's demeanor that I could relate to, like in my own professional life. So the one thing that I will say, no matter what, is there is nothing disingenuous or dishonest about what Phil said the other day. Nothing. And I've been in that position to where, you know, I've been pissed. Right? And I thoroughly believe watching his demeanor during this interview, because he said it a couple times. I know you guys are trying to make me make me smile, make me positive. I'm not in that headspace today. And so for that piece of this, you know, I will say what I said last week as I got started last week's kind of soapbox. I am not in any way, shape, or form calling for Phil Spencer to be fired. I don't think Xbox needs to be spun off. I don't think that's even going to happen. People don't understand that despite all of our angst, that does come from a place of wanting Xbox to succeed and in some ways be that competitor. You know, there is nobody, I don't think anybody with a reasonable mind who's a serious person goes, you know, looks at the numbers that Microsoft is bringing in on the Xbox division, even on a down turn from the previous quarter, still their second best quarter ever in Xbox, and go, yeah, that guy needs to be fired and somebody else needs to take over. All that said, what I hope that I see out of this for the future is I do think that Phil's got to change some philosophy. And one of the things that, while I thoroughly respected his demeanor and his, I'm mad at myself, I'm disappointed, I've got to do better, you know, I'm not in a good mood right now. That's all well and good. But he did say something that was very poignant in this interview, and that is, I can say all the stuff in the world to you on camera, but until you're holding a controller with a smile on your face, nothing I say matters. And I think that's the most true thing that anybody could say. I think we'd all agree with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, the time for talk is over. It's put up or shut up. Right. Is what he's pretty much saying.
And yeah. Where I Johnny says Mike's about to go in, Mav's going to eject. Where I have a couple of issues here that I think need discussion, and maybe I'm overdoing it because I tend to see things for what they are. I tend not to, like, I'm an Xbox fan, but I'm not so much of an Xbox fan that I can't criticize the company. And I'm not saying anybody here is in that position. Nobody here, because Mav, I've seen you do it. X, I've seen you do it. Peter, you and I have done it together. Darth, I'm sure you have. So I'm not suggesting anybody here on the panel is that. But there are a lot of people out there who do a lot of excusing for, for when things aren't going right. And I think that does a disservice I think that does a disservice to the very things we're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars supporting. So, what I need to be talked down from is why I'm glad.
All right, get off that ledge, Myke.
Yes, which is why I'm glad I've got this particular panel. I want to find where, I can't remember where he said it. It was somewhere. I know that they are going in a direction that is different than everybody else. And I get that Game Pass, which I love and I think is one of the greatest things in gaming, and people know that I've said this consistently. I'm starting to see or feel like that may be coming at the expense of those very things that we've spent thousands of dollars from. I know that he used the words, yes, we want our console people to feel like first-class citizens. But when you make statements that have to be clarified 1,000 times over, then I think the statement that you make is not the right statement. And that statement is, we're not here, we know we can't out-console Sony and Nintendo. Which may or may not be a true statement, right? May or may not be. I say may or may not be because it wasn't that long ago. The 360 was not as long ago as we think it was, and they did a pretty damn good job of out-Sonying, out-consoling Sony in that generation. What the next thing he said was, which I know has been up for serious interpretation by whoever is, either supporting him or not supporting him or what have you, is that, us making good games isn't going to result in, I guess, console sales. I mean, it's not going to get people to sell their PS5s and go Xbox. And I had a serious problem with that statement. Because that, to me, is not a statement from a competitor. That's not a platform holder.
Remember, Xbox and Phil, they have said that Sony is not their competitor.
I know. And that's...
He's been saying that for many years. I mean, you might like it or not. Yeah.
Right, and he's right.
That's their philosophy.
Well, he can keep lying all he wants, but
no, his competitor, Microsoft's competitor, has always been Google and Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, and Apple.
But see, but he's beaten Google. But he's beaten Google. Let's be honest. He's beaten Google.
Well, yeah.
But
Google.
Not
really. They haven't beaten Google in the grander scheme of things, because if you look at the mobile market as like where Microsoft is paying attention to for where most gamers are, where they want to get to, that's one of the reasons they're doing the ABK deal. Google and Apple have a duopoly on that, and they're trying to crack into it, right? So Google and Apple make tons of money on gaming revenue, right? Yeah. Bigger picture, if you just look at it like cloud service versus cloud service, which is a very small niche market anyway, Microsoft, Google gave up. I think they would have given up regardless of Microsoft or not, because they just realized the market was too small, right? Yeah. But however, Google is a much bigger player for gaming besides Stadia.
And they also have YouTube and all that other stuff. So
and they're looking at the future too. Like Google hosts a lot of the cloud services for games as well, and that's in the servers for games. So that's a competition they're trying to have with Google and Amazon as well, between Amazon Web Services and the
Amazon Cloud Service is pretty good.
So there's a lot to this.
Amazon Cloud Service is actually one of the largest in the world.
Yeah.
Amazon leases Netflix's cloud service to them.
So when Phil talks about competing with those guys, he's talking about on another level, he's talking about that kind of stuff with the grander scheme of things, about where all the real money is, not the niche console market that's capped at about 150 million players.
That's why Phil said he wants to get this stuff everywhere.
Okay. So I'm and I hear you guys. I would like to point out Sai's comment, which is where I'm kind of going. Microsoft's competitors are not necessarily the same as Xbox's competitors. And to an extent, I agree with you, Mav. The mobile market is why they're. I've said this from the get-go. Call of Duty is the red herring in the whole Activision thing. It's about King, but mobile. That's not the mobile market. That's a different market than. That's putting out mobile games. That's not putting out the AAA
console games.
Console games. And that's where I think what Phil kind of slapped people at was, well, this is our bigger picture. And so, and he said, console, there are a lot of people aren't going to like what I have to say on this, which it was a true statement. A lot of people are like, well, why? It all comes back to the question, right? All the people that are not Xbox fans, right? And there's some that have PC and all that stuff, and they say, oh, why should I buy an Xbox? And Phil makes statements like this, and it starts to make the Microsoft fans go, wait a minute, why should I buy an Xbox? Why don't I just...
They haven't been paying attention for the last couple of years, and that's all their comprehension is.
I understand, but they're the ones who, before xCloud came out, really was spending, $500 a console on consoles, because the Phil's, one of Phil's other statements way back when was, we were never going. Remember when they brought out Project Scorpio, when it was Project Scorpio and the 1X, and he said we are never going to be behind on console. We're never going to be last on consoles again in power.
And I still think he believes that, because both things can be true, right?
Those things can be true, but do you see another Xbox coming from Microsoft after their focus on playing?
Yeah, they've already said they're going to do that.
They already work on it.
Yeah, they're already coming out with it. They said that, and like Myke, like I understand what you're saying, because like messaging wise, it's a mistake, I think, right? Like regardless, you still want to put out there like, hey, you're the most important, all that kind of stuff. Which he also said that also. We got to treat the console players.
It's not even that.
But vision-wise, there's no real issue here. I do disagree a little bit with him about how much of an impact releasing quality games can have with the console market. I think it can have a bigger impact than he realizes. But I don't disparage anything he's talking about with the greater vision for Xbox and Microsoft. And a console is always going to be a part of that, as long as there's an excuse or a reason to own a console, right? And in a future world, 20 years from now, potentially, or whatever, where we don't have to have a console anymore because everything is better anyway without it, which we don't know if it'll ever get to that point.
I mean, look at the power of your phones. They're getting more powerful every year.
Eventually, there may not be a reason, but besides that, until that happens, there's always going to be a console. And now, messaging-wise, you could look at it and be like, well, he's still got to sell the hopes and dreams to the enthusiasts, to us, because a lot of people aren't going to understand the comments. So messaging-wise, it's not the best PR move that he made, but he really wasn't lying as far as the way they think about things. And I
never said he was.
That. Right.
I want to be clear. I did not find anything disingenuous in what he said. Anything that, I guess what I was taking away from it was, I don't have a desire to build a PC, right? My PC gaming days left me in college. Trust me, I was a big PC gamer, right? Dual Voodoo 2s. I was the whole, I was playing Doom at 1024 by 768 when everybody else was playing at 320 by 240. I mean, I was that guy. I'm not that guy anymore. And, we're already seeing that their focus is shifting, and it feels like instead of leading with console and having cloud, it feels like now cloud and PC are becoming the kind of the front line, and consoles, we look at Redfall, if the word is that consoles got optimized last and they ran out of time and just threw the game out there, that's a problem for the people who support on console who are like, what about me? And I, you know, the one thing that I like when I was watching this, and I forgot what I was doing. I was watching this and I heard him say that, and I turned around and I said, Phil, why do you think people went to the PlayStation from Xbox in that PS3 or PS3 to PS4 era, from that 360 to Xbox One era? Because Sony, after getting their ass handed to them with the PS3 for however many years, they turned to their games.
In the end, they
lowered all the prices. That's why the PS3 caught up.
No, that's not the only reason that. Go ahead, Peter. I'm sorry.
No, I mean the PS3 in the end, it's outsold the 360, right? Not by a lot, but
globally it ended up outselling.
Globally, not here.
Barely.
Not here.
So 360 in the end, Xbox slowed down too in there. You know,
the main reason, though,
the beginning of the 360 era was different than the end of the 360 era.
The main reason the PS3 really caught up, though, was because the Blu-ray player won the wars there. So you had a lot of people buying that because it was the cheapest way to buy a Blu-ray player, which was the only way to watch HD movies at the time, right? So you had the film enthusiasts, movie enthusiasts, anybody that wanted to buy a new movie was looking for a Bluray player, and it was the cheapest way to get one.
Yeah, that's at the point. That's the point.
I had the HD DVD player for my Xbox 360.
I still have mine.
I still have mine.
I have
2 of them.
I still watch my movies on it. I remember getting the Matrix trilogy for like $9.99 as a mistake from Circuit City.
And the one thing I loved about that, real quick, it was dual-sided. If you wanted to watch it in standard, all you did was switch it over.
Yep. Flip it over. You know, but I mean, but all of that said, those were you got Uncharted 2, you got Last of Us, you got heavy hitting, you got their franchise games that began to come out. You got Metal Gear Solid, you got games. They realized that they screwed up their whole marketing. They screwed up building that system out of the cell processor. You know, it was great for curing cancer, but not for making games. So they went to work making games. And that is what then they were able to parlay that into all of the things that Microsoft misstepped in 2014.
But Mike, you can't say that them dropping that price from 600 to 300 did not make a difference for the PlayStation 3. You can't say that did not make a difference. And they made it smaller. That made a difference.
They made it smaller, but they also took out all the backward compatibility too.
They took that out the first year, dude, when they got rid of the 60 gig system.
Right.
Right.
So they made other changes.
They still had the price $600, even though they took that away. When they dropped the price about 2 years before the end of that generation to about $300, in some places you could get it for $200, that's when they started to sell the new ones. And that's what caught the system up.
Because they had the games to back it up.
They started gaining the traction before the games hit. Like
they did.
Early PS3 generation, it was flop after flop after flop. Back then, the conversation was like, when is PlayStation going to have good first-party games? I remember, like, I had Killzone, flops, you had all these different games. About halfway through, when they both did this, the Wii took off and was outselling both of them like crazy, right?
Yep.
They both went on this different movement. Oh, we're gonna do something like the Wii. So the Xbox did Kinect, PlayStation did PlayStation Move. Okay. By this time, Blu-ray was already catching up and really starting to sell the PS3. What happened with Xbox then is they went too full into Kinect, right?
PlayStation dove deep in that.
Yeah, PlayStation
sold 20 million units of the Kinect. People actually
they did. They believed in it. The problem was the developers couldn't make games for it. They didn't make games. So then a lot of their focus was only on those instead of making the good games that we were used to getting to on 360, right?
Yeah, they got the Wii shovelware. Yeah,
you had the loss of focus from 360 first party. Then you start, plus the Blu-ray picks up. PlayStation first party fixes their issues. They start releasing those games like Charlie was mentioning some of them in the chat, you know, like like The Last of Us and
Right.
stuff like that. So it helped for sure. But I think a lot of it was either Microsoft's failings at the end of the 360 era that permeated all the way into the early Xbox One generation. Also, the games from PlayStation, but more so than that, the momentum they had built up from people starting to buy the console anyway. Like it was a combination of three different things. But regardless, they still finished barely ahead globally, which was the closest race ever.
Oh yeah,
for Sony,
huge.
Yeah, because
win
I bought
for
my
Microsoft
PS. I bought my PS3 when they finally got the price drop. I wasn't paying that much money for that damn thing.
But to you, where you're going with that, Myke, like about, I think, with Microsoft's focus, right? And what is their focus? Is it on the console? Is the console a primary? I still believe the console is a core pillar in Xbox's strategy. And however, I do get what you're saying. Sometimes I feel like a second-class citizen. Gears Tactics had no right launching on PC first. It's a tactics game. It's easy to make those on console.
Oh, yeah.
Like they should have easily put that on console day one as well as.
Yeah, they should have.
The Age 4 should have hit on console right away. They should have made it a priority instead of waiting. I think that too. Redfall not being optimized as well as it could have. That's another sign as well. But those are individual issues we can point to, other than just like saying that they don't care about console gamers anymore.
Well, I think there's another thing that's weighing into this too that I think really has affected a lot of what's going on with Phil and his response to this, and you can kind of gauge it, but the ABK deal has been a huge albatross in the midst of all of this. So his statements are also carefully weighted to say certain things and not exactly. And so he can't like be hardcore and gung ho. Hey, yeah, Xbox is going to be the best of this and this. We're going to do this. He can't say that. So I think you have to take that into account whenever he says anything now.
Well, sure. Well, then don't. Well, I would argue then don't do these interviews. But that.
He
that
had
said,
to. He had to. Though.
So well,
he had
I don't
to.
know if
Why?
he had to.
He was already pre-scheduled to do this interview. First
Yeah, but he can say like, "Hey, ABK is taking more time of my time."
No,
but
he understands.
I got
pissed.
you.
No,
You
he
gotta
understands that people are pissed off. I mean, people are pissed.
You can't.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit for sitting there and doing the interview when things are bad, right?
Yeah.
No, guys, trust me. That's why I tried to premise as much of this as I could. I do. The fact that he got up there and did it, and kind of funny, didn't hold back. I get all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would push back on, you can still say we are committed to competing for that market share. You don't have to. You can say we're not able to do it right now because we're and he said ABK accelerates our plans. And he's been careful to say it's not our entire plan, but it accelerates our plans. You can do that and still say our intention is to put out the best games the best games on the best system. We still believe that the Xbox Series X is the best console, and we will let our games speak for themselves. That is the way that you say it, even if you don't want to say we're the best.
But right after Redfall, you cannot say let the game speak for themselves. It's
well,
Microsoft,
but Hi-Fi Rush. But see, Hi-Fi Rush is still one of my Game of the Year candidates.
Mm-hmm.
That was a game that came out perfect. We all had this fight about Halo Infinite, and Mav is right. Peter, you've been right. I gave Chris the correct on this. That was a content issue. That my issue with Halo Infinite was the campaign co-op and the broken. Well, it was partially broken. Let's be honest, and the broken big team battle. Right, the multiplayer issues that we were having, that we all had, that I streamed, that I have proof of. But other than that, the game came out great single player. It looked great. It ran phenomenal. All the nonsense about, well, maybe the slipstream engine, right? Blah 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 blah. Nobody's talking about it going to Unreal Engine anymore because it actually did look good. All that aside, all I'm saying is that there was, and maybe it was his mood. That it was just like, you know, there were people that were like, he sounds like he's given up. I don't know that I'm not suggesting that he is giving up. Obviously, he's not. We've got a showcase coming up in just over a month and 2 days. So, you know, but it's hard sometimes to hear these things and go, here's Redfall. We're not gonna, you know, and then you hear, I could put out the best games in the world. People aren't gonna buy my system, and they're not gonna sell their PS5s to go buy an Xbox. You don't know that, number one, and number two.
I thought he said we could have the best games in the world. We're not going to catch up with PlayStation, which is actually true. That's what I thought he said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but so think about this though. If he had, let's say Redfall was the game we all thought it was, right? As we know, what other games are coming out for PlayStation this year? Spider-Man, right?
But do you think that one game would have been big enough for them to catch up with PlayStation?
Hold on. You've got Redfall that is their big tentpole game this quarter, right? Somewhere along the line, you still got. I'm speaking in hypotheticals here because we know it didn't happen.
Okay.
Forza still says 2023. Starfield, which I mean, you know, there's been a question: does that have to perform? I mean, their desire to put out a game a quarter, which he did still say in this interview.
He didn't just say it; he's confident. He was confident in it now.
He was confident in it.
Yeah,
right?
he said it's happening. And if you look at we've already had 5 first-party releases on Xbox this year.
Right.
So it's happening.
You can't. I refuse to believe that. And even if he doesn't believe it himself, you don't say it. That's my problem. You don't say it. Because that is not that's a, I'm just going to call it like it is. That is a loser's mentality. Yes, the vision is different. And he wants to go off and do all this other stuff. But you don't tell the people who have invested in an Xbox, a 360, an Xbox One, an Xbox One X, a Series X. You don't tell that person.
He was really calling out the console warriors, and that's console warring.
Yeah, he that's the thing. Like, I agree, it's not the messaging you want to give, right? It was I think, and I've said this, I think it was a mistake. And
he could have worded it better.
Well, first off, he wasn't even asked that question.
That's true. Yeah, he just went off on that question.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm about to say something crazy here, everybody, so listen up."
That's what he said. Hang on, let me see. I gotta see if I can.
You're right.
I gotta see if I can find it.
He's like, I know what you just asked me, but what I'm about to say is going to be disruptive. You know,
I'm going to know what else is disruptive.
He did at least. Axel, he did at least admit. People are gonna be pissed off when I say this. He did at least admit
who he's talking about is the console players, right? The people that fanboy and console war, because those are the only people that really care how many Xbox sells, right? And that's what he's really getting to. Like, for them, his mentality is more about like, look, yes, console's a huge core focus for us in the Xbox, but we're not going to outsell Sony and we're not going to outsell Nintendo. Where I disagree is that his exact wording specifically when he said dramatic shift, right? Because he said there won't be a dramatic shift. I think there can be still, because it takes two parties to do that though. You got to have PlayStation fall on their face, and that's the one thing we don't know is going to happen.
They're known for that, though. They are known for that.
They've done it before, but and it takes the consistency of the quality and the output, which I believe in Xbox is going to be there. Where people ran with this, though, is trying to put these words into Phil's mouth like he doesn't care about making quality games for Xbox, right?
And I don't believe that.
That's like the crazy thing that people just take way out of context. That's the narrative that became of this, right? So that's why he's got to be more careful with how he words this stuff. And because he knows who's going to be reading this. That's why he also said, you know, it's disruptive, you know. So most of Twitter and social media, they're going to take that one line without watching the actual whole interview and just be like, oh, Phil Spencer says quality games aren't important to Xbox. And that's kind of what people ran with. But that's not the reality of what happened in the entire interview when he kept reiterating how important it was not to have something happen like a Redfall, why he was such in a disappointed, bad mood the entire time, saying how he let everybody down. We can't have a situation like this. Our goal is not to release 60 rated games. He said sometimes we're going to have 60 rated games, but that's not our goal. You know, like he's reiterating time and time again about how quality is important to what their ecosystem is. But this one line is taken out of context because he's just regarding it to sales within versus PlayStation consoles and Nintendo consoles, answering a console related question. It was weird energy though, and out of place and unnecessary. So that's where I think,
and that's where I think that right, and it, you know, Bigblock said, oh, by the way, sorry, Peter, there we have.
Yeah, I tried to get it in there, but
I know it's my fault.
Axel's member for 23 months. He says, "I'll sell Mike's PS5 for a Starfield controller."
See.
I appreciate you.
Just like your Jaguar.
Yes.
But no, Mike, I don't, what he said, I understood what he said from a business sense, but he could have worded it better. In a business sense, he knows no matter how good the game is that comes out, he's not going to catch none of these consoles. But a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. You're not going to catch all these consoles up with millions and millions of consoles within a year of these games.
No one said a year
Microsoft's
though, but you got
a patient company. They have always been that way. 5 years from now, you know, they could sneak up to the top. 5 years from now, 3-4 years from now, the next generation of consoles come out around then, 5 years. So they might start creeping their way back up within that time. So
but they were supposed to creep back up within that time with the Xbox Series consoles. Let's be honest. This was supposed to
happen because PlayStation was still at the top. They still had more people than them. They still did.
They didn't have the people. They didn't. They had an opportunity, which is what happened. Because remember what
last year
Xbox
they had
One
the opportunity,
and the PS4.
But they didn't bring nothing out.
No, right when the consoles, when that generation of consoles landed, the PS4 and the Xbox One, and keep in mind, I had an Xbox One first.
So did I.
Keep in mind, not only that, I believed in that vision that I always have said, and I've maintained, Microsoft had the right call on how digital was going to go. They once again messaging. Totally screwed up their ability to sell people on it. Because if you look where we are today, I'm talking about more along the lines of the all digital future that they were talking about. If you look at what's going on now, it's Microsoft's vision from 2013. They just screwed up. They didn't stick the landing, and they let Sony define them. But if you remember too, they lost the Call of Duty. Or they had the Call of Duty for one more year, and then they lost the Call of Duty marketing. Then there was the whole 720 versus 1080 thing. So, I mean, there was a whole perfect storm of crap.
And $100 more expensive because of that Kinect.
And $100 more expensive because of Kinect.
They should have thrown that one in.
But you know what's funny about the DRM part? You know about the disc swapping? They both, the 360 and the PS3, both had DRM. But they never talked about it. They both
everybody wanted. Look,
a lot of games you had to have online to play the game for verification of you owning the game.
Everybody was on board with it until Sony made everybody flinch.
The disc swap. I know.
EA was on board with Microsoft's DRM. Everybody was on board with the idea until the big elephant in the room said, "No, we're not going to do that," and everybody else was like, "Oh shit, we can't do that either."
Well, no. It was actually the conference. The conference that they were when they introduced it, it flopped. Nobody liked it. You know, the people's response to what they were going to do with DRM the consumers were pissed.
Right. Well, that's
like,
what I mean.
what?
Right. And
then
Sony,
Sony saw the response,
and if you remember,
they changed it and were like, oh no, we were never planning, even though they were.
But like I said, people don't know the PS3 and the 360 had DRM in them.
The PS4 and the Xbox One, yeah.
PS3 and Xbox 360 had DRM in it.
Yeah, but not to the level that
they
were talking about.
No, not on physical games. You could put it. I spent a lot of time.
I know you could put physical games in, and
yeah.
But they started, especially with the download, like the arcade games, and some of the ones that started doing digital things, and Sony started doing digital games. You know, they were both doing DRM when you had to just download.
Right.
But they're not talking about it. Sony exploited that with the next generation to Xbox One and PS4. They exploited it, but they knew it was still there in their consoles. Generation.
The difference is that what Microsoft's move on that was to make physical DRM as well.
Yep.
Yeah, they canceled that mess.
Well, no, and so did Sony. Both of them were planning to do
Everybody was. That's what I'm saying. Everybody was on board with this.
And then when the response to the Microsoft conference went south, Sony immediately distanced themselves and pretended like they never planned to do it, and they removed it as quick as they could. And then they're, look, this is how we share discs, and they handed to each other to make fun of it. And that's what made them the good guys in that scenario. And it made Microsoft look as stupid as they were stupid for trying to push that. And it pissed everybody off to see it. But yeah.
Yep. And they should have. I to this day, I have always said Microsoft should have held firm. They should have come out and explained
why
what they were doing, because they
should have explained why.
Oh, right. They should have explained what the value add was. Because remember, Darth, we were all talking about that 10-person disc sharing thing, the whole digital sharing family plan stuff that we thought they had kind of lined up, and then all of a sudden, if you're on a submarine, we got a console for you. And then that just, I mean, you couldn't have scripted a worse way to sell it. So people started flocking to Sony. They worked away from Xbox, and with the Series consoles, they had a chance to turn back some of that tide, and they haven't yet. And some of that has been kind of the missteps in the content issue with Halo Infinite, which was supposed to be their big, Bonnie Ross sitting. I know Chris and I had a giant fight over this. Bonnie Ross sitting in a chair across from where the hell she was sitting across from, telling people, we hear you. We know you're so upset that there's no couch co-op in Halo 5. We promise you it will be there for Halo Infinite. And people, this is what upsets me. This is what kind of gets my goat. The response to that, after some of us brought that up as an issue, was, people don't really play that way anyway. That's not the point. And that's not what people
It's a tradition for Halo. Keep the tradition going.
Right. So we have all of these things going on, and it culminates with Redfall, and then it culminates with the statements that Phil made, that we all understand there are a different mentality than Sony is in. That's not up for dispute. It's just hearing that stuff made it hard to understand how I benefit as an Xbox console owner. Not I don't care about the sales aspect, but that statement kind of led to an entire piece of, why don't I just build a PC? Why don't I just, why don't I just use my phone and just stream from now on? I got a Razer Kishi. It's got the same button.
The truth
layout.
is, Myke, Xbox is happy if you do either of those. They lose money if you buy a console. I mean, they just want you in their ecosystem. I mean, that being said, they know that there's a huge audience for console, and they're still going to release them. But that's the reality of the situation. They imagine Phil's spot here, like where you are and what you have to manage. You got to make a great experience for cloud. You have to make a great experience for PC. You got to make a great experience for console. They fall short on that at times too much on either one of the three, right? And at this point right now, he's just letting people know, like, yeah, you're the VIP, or you should feel like first class because you're the people that invest the most. But like, that's not the end all be all for Xbox anymore, right? So I feel like if you have a PC, like Xbox is completely happy if you want to go that route. They don't want they've passed the part of making the console feel like this is like, hey, this is going to be way above anything better than any other place you can play the Xbox ecosystem. They want the other experiences to feel like the console experience, right? They want the PC, they want the cloud, they want those to be up there. So he's trying to elevate those as well. You know what I mean?
I hear you. It's just, and in Redfall's case, the PC gamer, for all of its issues over there, still feels like the premium experience over the most. This is what we had this.
Well, not if you're used to the Xbox PC app, which is a piece of trash, right? So you want to talk
I don't
about
have a problem with the app though. With my
the app needs work. The app needs some features.
The biggest problem Microsoft has is they can't manage expectations. Halo Infinite, the campaign co-op, Redfall, 30, 60 FPS. I mean, that's my biggest issue.
Phil Spencer should have learned the first time they showed Halo Infinite in that state and said, okay, we need to stop this. That time, I don't think he was paying attention. Even then, like he didn't pay attention in Redfall until they showed the game on a trailer and everybody was disappointed how Halo looked. Then he stopped it. See, he didn't get no hands-on look at Redfall. And that was his problem, and that was his mistake. If you're in charge, be in charge. See what your underlings in the ladder are doing down there. Let them show you every now and then how the game is looking, how the game progressing. If it's not progressing in the way you want as the CEO of that division, you need to let your top heads roll, and I said, crack down a little bit. You ain't got to go super hard, but crack down a little bit so these people can get better. Because like I said, you didn't see no DLC from Halo Infinite until they laid off people. Next thing you know, 1 month, about 30 days later, you saw some new DLC for Halo Infinite. Because these people did not want to lose their job because they know it's layoffs at 343 and they didn't want to lose their damn job. So it's like Phil needs to come down, get his ladder, get his people together in a group meeting every 1 or 2 weeks and find out the progress of these games that you got your developers making. And let them tell them, if you tell a lie to me, you can walk out the door. I want the truth. I don't want no fabrication. I want the truth on how these games are going. And then you ask him, why aren't these games at the state we need them as long as they've been making the game? Tell them to stop drinking the beer in the refrigerator, sit your ass down at that desk and start working on these games so we can get them out, so we can make our system better for people in our gaming community. That's it. I'm done. I had to get that out of my system. I'm sorry.
You and Yobi are gonna have to go in the octagon because Yobi's like he's saying again, they worked on that before they got fired.
Yeah, but they didn't release it. They didn't really know anything was coming out till people got laid off, dude. Nothing. You heard nothing about any content coming out.
Well, my only issue was the campaign co-op, which was supposed to take 3 months,
took a year
because they were more concerned about the free-to-play multiplayer and how much they could get content out for that. I mean,
yeah,
that hurt.
I think the next Halo, I don't want this free to pay game. Let me pay for it and give me my DLC the regular damn way. Do not do this free to play game. This games as a service stuff. No more for no Halo. Let it be a regular Halo that you play with DLC and stop all this crap. Because I'm sick of games as a service for my games.
One thing Xbox doesn't care enough about console because they force crossplay.
Hey, I like playing Halo on my PC.
I want optional crossplay. Give me the option.
True.
If you don't do that, you don't
my main
value
thing
my purchase.
With priority on Xbox with console is just make sure the games have the same feature set with your performance mode at least, or like give us 2 modes, performance, quality at launch. Don't half-ass it, right? And the other thing is don't release games on PC first that you're going to later port to console. If you're going to take the games originally that they had always made on console first, right, and then would later port on PC, now all those games come day one, which guess what? That takes longer to develop the games, right? It takes longer because you have to optimize for all these different things and all that stuff. So when they made that a priority about, hey, we're going to do cross progression, cross play, cross save, we're going to have everything launched day and date on both PC and console. That's great. I love it. I believe in that vision, but you got to keep it consistent when there's games that are traditionally on PC, right? With like Age of Empires 2 came later, Age of Empires 4 is coming later. Gears Tactics came later, right? So those were the main issues here because, like, at that point, as a console player, I did feel like a second-class citizen because I wanted to play those games on my Xbox, and I knew that there was more games that were getting on PC than we were getting on console. So that was my main issue with that. As far as the rest of it, I don't care. Like, Phil's comments, he says what he says. It doesn't really change what's actually happening with Xbox. Like, if you look at all the investment they have with all these studios, all these games they have coming underway, a lot of them big games as well, and you have this Game Pass with all these Game Pass deals we're doing with third-party companies. You have indie, highly acclaimed games about to hit as well, like Silksong and all these things. Stuff like there's just so much from Microsoft from the investment. And guess what? As console owners, we're going to reap the benefit of that just as much as anybody else. So for me, I don't really. I get that messaging wise, it's not a great idea, but the actions from Xbox speak way louder than the words of Phil Spencer when it comes to what they're doing, right?
It feels lackadaisical. It does.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's so much investment that we're getting more than we could ever have asked for from Xbox coming. You know what I mean? And the console, they got to make sure it's up to snuff with the quality when it drops, right?
Right.
And that's the main question. If you want to have a question about Redfall, they got to address that, right? And Phil should have done a better job in this interview just about addressing that specific situation.
I don't know that I didn't have an issue with that actually. Of anything in here, I mean, he came right out and said we have a timeline.
But when he was asked the question specifically about what makes you decide when to delay a game, right, his answer to that sucked. That's the biggest problem I have, because he was like, well, if they don't have the creative vision, then that's not really a reason. Well, whatever. Right. But he's like, if they got bugs and stuff like that, and then he was like, internally, the numbers for crashing are really about what to expect. Well, like, okay, how about the performance mode on console? Is that not enough alone to delay that you had to put stickers on your box, right? But again, that you could say, well, PC experience are getting 60 frames, so maybe they don't care, right? So you got to hit the quality on the console versions of the games, and to your point there, they got to make sure that's a priority, right? Because they got to treat everybody equal within the ecosystem. They can't have like PC players get a better experience than console players and all this kind of stuff.
Well, if they wanted to treat the console players equally, they'd give modes that we could choose just like a PC could. I mean, that's treating us equally.
Yeah, just give us a
performance mode.
We're not expecting like everything PCs have, because there's like a million different variations.
But you're right. It's a simple
Even
thing.
Networking and netcode works different on PC than it's on a console.
But if you drop it to where you can, like I said, again, 1440p 60, and you could let it run dumb it down a little bit and let it run, and people could play it, all of a sudden, people are going to be like, oh, there it is. That's it. That's what we want. No big deal. They're freaking out because it's not their vision. And like I said, I think they're getting caught up with a bunch of buzzwords and bullshit instead of looking at it from a standpoint of what we actually want. We don't all desire to have it. It has to be 4K. It has to have ray tracing, all that. That's great buzzwords. I want the game to play good.
Ray tracing sucks.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's a totally overblown thing. It's just like it's like HDR. It's like HDR. I can't play games with HDR half the time unless it's on my big Sony TV downstairs. If I play it anywhere else, it looks like shit. But yeah, I mean, they need to focus on what actually makes the game play good and not what the buzzwords are hitting all their marks. Who cares?
And the funny thing is, I don't want to bring this around to PlayStation, but I'm going to. Right? we're in this surprise, like the Xbox community is in this like big doom and gloom. There's like half of the communities right now like, what's Xbox doing? They're abandoning us. Oh my God. We're like, this is like, selling my Xbox. Oh my gosh. Like Game Pass is like, they're just like, it's going to be fodder now. They don't care about quality, all these things. Oh my God. I'm so worried and concerned about Xbox, even though I have all these freaking games coming that we already had this year plus coming. And really, if you look at the opposite end of the spectrum with what PlayStation is doing, which is highly celebrated, nobody's talking about any of this. They got one big first-party game coming this year. No other big first-party releases except for a multi-platform title, MLB The Show, which drops day and date in Game Pass as well. And that thing's also on the Switch. So you want to talk about issues with content, right? So where's the double standards lie? Like, at what point did the double standards out there become apparent to the people that are speaking them? Because there is an insane amount of double standard talk right now, not just from the PlayStation community, but regarding Xbox and the perceived failures. Nobody was talking about this when Destruction All-Stars was one of the first games that came out for PlayStation this generation and was a huge failure. They tried to charge $70 for that, and it was complete crap. Forspoken, well, they all say, well, it's okay. We fulfill our third-party our first-party void this year with third-party games. Well, if that's your focus, if that's the model, then Forspoken's just as bad as Redfall. Because if PlayStation's sitting there funding their whole model of game releases based on third-party exclusives, those matter if they suck, right? It just does almost equally as much as a first-party game. One big game this year, which may not even hit this year, Spider-Man 2, we talked about how much, and we gave them smoke last year in 2022 about how much it sucked for Xbox having a weak year for first-party releases. Nobody is talking about Sony first-party this year, where there is only one big game slated right now.
Yep.
You know, because on Xbox they focus on what's bad, and on Sony only what's good.
It's a double standard.
Yeah.
Right now, I made a tweet earlier just to see what would happen, and I said PlayStation has a first-party games problem in 2023. And oh my God, I was feasting on the double standard talk here because all of the defense, all of the mechanisms are using to try and defend themselves and say, oh my God, there's no problems. What are you talking about? There's so many games. Like what? How many you got? They're like, we had Horizon Call of the Wild come out. Okay, so the VR game, that was like on less than 2% of PlayStation 5 owners can play Horizon Call of the Wild. Bravo! You're talking about a game that was released to people that can never even play the game. Great. All right, how about move on? MLB The Show. Yeah, I'm playing that on Game Pass right now. So what? Right? So then you talk about Spider-Man 2. You talk about 3 maybe first-party things with one of them barely available to anybody. One of them that's a better value on another ecosystem, and another one that may not even happen this year. Nobody's talking about it at all because they got us exclusivity deal with Final Fantasy 16. So then you have the people out there saying, well, like Microsoft can't go and buy publishers and developers because they're just buying, they're not creating. Well, so what is Sony doing? Are they not using their checkbook to go and buy exclusive content that they didn't create to fulfill the void of their first-party studios? It is the same thing, just done in an exactly different way. And the double standards are insane in this. And man, I just love seeing them. It's amazing.
Twitter sucks. Twitter really sucks.
Why?
The defenses they're making, they sound like Xbox fans. It's amazing. It's so great.
Well, I love my Xbox, and I'm never going nowhere. I don't pay no attention to these trolls, man. I swear, I don't. I've been there since the beginning.
But it's not just the trolls; it's games media.
Well, gaming journalists.
Oh, they've been doing that since like the end of the 360, dude.
They've
we got an
populated.
opportunity.
They've been populated by PlayStation whores for years, man. I mean, gaming journalists are just a bunch of PlayStation fanboys that are carrying the water for them constantly. Look at them; they all do it. It's like universal.
Yeah.
You can expect almost every single gaming journalist to sit there and make some kind of disparaging remark about Microsoft and Xbox and how they're failing, and they'll just sit and praise Sony about everything. And it's been this way. Oh, it's 10 or 15 years, man. It's been this way like since Sony's been Sony, since they've had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because Microsoft's name is attached to it? Because everybody at work, work on, mostly on Windows and other stuff, and Office, and
I don't.
And then they come home. Here's Microsoft, Xbox. Like, oh.
Hey, Mav, what they say? Forspoken is good, but because it's on PlayStation.
No, they just
Xbox is
with
going to
it.
be
Yeah.
weird. Huh?
They've disassociated.
That was third party. It doesn't count. But now they're celebrating Final Fantasy 16 because it fills the void of the first party. You can't make it up. It's a constant goalpost move, double standard talk. And regardless, that's fanboy stuff or whatever. But when that same conversation went into an article from GameIndustry.biz the other day. It was just like, what's going on? Like, what are you talking about?
I've railed so hard against them lately.
In the same article, they praised PlayStation for their third-party tactics, buying exclusive games, and they knocked Xbox for trying to buy exclusive third-party games. In the same article, it's insane.
Send that to the CMA. Let them look at that.
If they weren't in their pocket, sure.
Yeah, if Nina Khan wasn't going over there making trips saying, look, you need to help me support this Stop Activision thing. Mm-hmm. But we ain't going there.
Oh.
We're not going there.
That's why I'm glad when Mav said, hey, you got room?
All right.
So you can hear this and many more awesome Xbox commentary on Xbox Ultimate on Friday nights at 10. What are you now? 10 o'clock?
I don't even.
10
what time is
Eastern. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. So just throwing that out there.
But yeah, I thought we were talking about Phil.
We did.
Sorry.
Look,
there was more. You went on one thing of that one, dude. There was more.
Myke.
Mike.
DJC, will you be talking about Astro Smash high score runs? I'm getting my fingers ready for this one, Chuck. I'm getting in on that Astro Smash high score run. Cyrus told me about it, and
I can't wait for this console to come out.
He said I'm allowed to use. He said I'm allowed to use the Intellivision Lives on the OG Xbox. So, we have an original. We have an original Astro Smash, the 1980 version. That's happening.
Oh, so they gave you the rights to stream it?
No, the original.
Okay, they gave you the right. You're using the original console, right?
Oh no, I can't hook Intellivision up to my TV. I'm using Intellivision. I just said I'm using the Intellivision Lives on my OG Xbox.
Astro Smash might be the very first game I ever played.
Really?
Yeah. We had an Intellivision in the house, and that was like it was already there, when I was born. So,
yeah.
they took it up.
Baseball.
Yeah, you're a couple years behind me, Mav. You old man.
Yeah. It was either that or something at the arcade at the laundromat. Like it could have been Pac-Man or it could have been Astro Smash. I'm not sure.
Oh, by the way, Mav, happy birthday again, buddy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Happy birthday,
I'm 40. I'm 40 years old.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
He turned into an old man.
I remember.
Right.
Give him something.
He's catching up.
All you guys need diapers.
Shit.
All y'all need diapers.
Yeah.
Apparently, I need a diaper because I'm having an Xbox fanboy meltdown, according to
Damn right.
Xbox fanboy meltdown. That's going to be the name of my new show.
I think in the future Xbox is fine. I
Meltdown?
think Phil is putting it on the right path, but I think he was so pissed off about that Redfall thing that he could not get his words out correctly when some of them questions were asked. You know when you're pissed off and you just really don't know what to say correctly, and that happens. CEOs, anybody, that's gonna happen. So I just think he worded it wrong. And
here's how I want to.
It happens. Everybody
here's
was saying wrong. You know how much trouble I've been in with women that I was dating because I worded something wrong. Come on.
See, you got Chuck's attention by saying Pac-Man.
Yeah, I don't. I couldn't answer if somebody asked what's the first game I played. I don't know. I've been playing a game since I can't remember. You know what I mean? So it would probably either be like Astro Smash or like Frog Bog or Burger Time or
Frogger.
It wasn't an Atari game. I don't think we had.
Frog Bog is an Intellivision game. Although
it sucks so bad.
Budweiser, I think Budweiser when they did the whole Budweiser, they stole that from Frog Bog. I'll stand by that to this day.
Wow.
So it's funny you mentioned. So let me wrap up. Let me wrap up the Phil conversation here because it's been a wonderful one, and gee, it's good to know I'm alone on this. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'll be okay. I still,
That's your second week of rant. That's your second week of ranting, Myke. You're getting the rant bug lately.
Hey, look.
You ranted a lot last week, dude.
It's what you do. Look, I drove poor Chris off the show, so it's not. Look, I'm well aware that I haven't been the most positive guy in the last month. However, I'm gonna bring this back. Phil said it, right? He can say all the things he wants. Without a control in your hand smiling, it means nothing. Next month, to Mav's point, is their showcase. And this is an opportunity. I think number one, and Mav and I are in total agreement. The minute Sarah Bond says, and you'll be able to play these games in the next, somebody should get the hook and actually literally hook her off stage like it was vaudeville.
No, like the Gong Show.
Like the Gong Show.
Yank her ass off stage.
Gong Show her off the stage. So there will be no, you can play these, you throw that shit out the window and you never say you could play these games in the next 12 months ever again. Ever again.
No, I want to hear them say you could play Forza right now after the show. That's what I want to hear them say.
Yeah,
it's possible.
That'd be a hell of that would be a hell of a move.
Man, you know how fast
they will say
that on
if
my
you
PC?
if you get the ultimate add-on, you can play it right now.
Oh no, I'm buying the game at full price. I'm not doing it with Game Pass. I'm buying it full price with the King crown and everything. I want the whole package.
Yeah. I need that crown.
That's me. I do that with every.
They've been throwing out
VIP.
Every Forza.
Mm-hmm.
They've been throwing out the energy that Motorsport they needed a little bit more time. So I think it's probably
again.
That's why they did the didn't hit within the 12 months, right? When they had Forza Motorsport at the Dev Direct, they had a couple days after that they had a Forza Motorsport show kind of where they just broke down more on the game and stuff. And at that time they were like, just patience with us. We need more time. We haven't got a release date with it yet, but they were putting out the energy that probably the earliest would be fall. So
when was that?
That was a couple days after the Dev Direct. But they didn't say any direct time, but they gave the energy that it's not going to hit the 12-month window, right? So
absolutely not. It's not.
The Xbox showcase would be within that. I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up for. But I think there's a good chance it could still hit in like October,
that's
November.
Day to come out.
Other thing you got to pay attention to when Phil was given that confidence about hitting that game a quarter, right? He was like, He's like, finally, the weight lifted off him. He's like, finally, we're going to be able to do that. And he said, I think you've seen that with the games we've had this year. Plus, he rambled off a list of games. And in a very specific order. He said, we'll have Starfield coming. We have Forza Motorsport coming. We have Hellblade 2 coming. Like, that was his release schedule, right? So we know what Starfield's release date is September 6th. So I anticipate Forza Motorsport dropping after that.
Yeah, because the original Hellblade, the very first one came out in November.
Yeah, and Hellblade could be potentially end of this year or early next year. But it'll be one of those two probably.
I don't know, but on Forza, one of your really big titles, you should not wait that long for a storied franchise to come out like, this long. It's been, 7 years since Forza 7? It shouldn't be.
Yeah, but
hasn't been 7.
But Horizon, no,
it's
but
close.
Horizon's filled that gap. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Horizon has filled that gap pretty well.
But for simulator racers like me, I'm more of a Forza person. My best Horizon game is still Horizon 3 with Hot Wheels and the Snow Mountain, Cocaine Mountain. Those are still my favorite. That's still my favorite Horizon.
Cocaine Mountain.
Yeah, it has been 6
years. Cocaine Mountain. Oh, go ahead.
2017. Yeah, it says 2017, so it's been 6 years.
Well, yeah, 6 years for you working on this game. I mean, it's and you're turned 10. You are turned 10. I mean, I want it to come out this year. If it comes out in 2024, I'm not going out and buy no PlayStation people to play Gran Turismo. Okay, I'm just letting you people know. I can wait for Forza. But like I said, I got other sim games I can play. But I really want to play Forza because I want to play it with my friends. Because a lot of them can't do sims like iRacing and Assetto Corsa and things like that. But Forza gives me close enough to a simulator of those calibers. I can play with my friends, tuning and everything, and pit stops where I can have fun with my friends. So, I ain't got, I'm old. You never know when I'm gonna croak. So I ain't got no time to keep waiting on games. I need them out. I'm being real. That's all. I'm done. Okay. I'm just in the mood today. Don't mind me. I'm in the mood.
I see that. I thought I was in the mood. I was supposed to be the one
Your
in the
mood's
mood.
going on for 8 days, man. I mean, come on.
My mood's going on for a month.
The host.
But
you can
so look.
You guys need
hold
some
on.
women. That's the mood you need. Come on.
Wow. Oh, I knew he was going to go there somewhere today like that.
Just saying. I didn't get all deep. Come on. What?
Yeah,
Okay, keep going.
Right.
Keep going.
Cutting it.
Keep going.
So my point is there's an opportunity here for them to just, and I think he said he was going to do it, right? There are a few games that we are looking for some serious updates to. All right? I think it's time we do. I think we let's. I know, Peter, you're not the biggest fan of this, but I think it's time to start showing stuff, even if it's a little farther out, so that people can understand what's coming.
Hey, Mike, everybody.
Right.
Just don't put a date on it.
What would
just
you
don't
think?
put a date on it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, go ahead. Ask your question.
What would you think if they've done it before? If at the show they drop a demo for Forza, they've done demos before that they've dropped for Forza.
Yeah, but they've done demos for Horizon.
They've done demos for Forza.
Did they do a demo for Motorsport?
Yeah, they've done demos for Motorsport. I played them. They've done demos on the 360, and they did it for Forza 5 and Forza 6. They dropped demos. They didn't do it for Forza 7, but they did it for Forza 5 and Forza 6.
Didn't they have a standalone demo with the Fast and Furious Forza?
No, actually, that was the DLC that they pretty much gave away for free. If you owned
but I thought
Forza,
those.
If you owned that Forza Horizon, they gave you the game. That game was actually for Forza Horizon. It wasn't for Motorsport. The Fast and the Furious. It was for Horizon on one of the Horizon maps.
It was a Forza Horizon 2 Presents. It was a standalone expansion for the 360. It wasn't part of Forza Horizon 2. It was a standalone game.
Right. But it connected in the Forza Horizon 2 world.
Yes, but you still had to buy it. But to your point, they brought out it was player. Okay, so there was a 2-week period in which it was free, and then after that, it was $10.
Right.
And it coincided with the launch of Furious 7. I can't keep up what frickin' Furious movie we're on now. I think it's like 10.
It was one of them.
So,
no, they're going to X now, I think. I don't know.
Yes,
X
10.
That's 10. X.
I need to take my pills that the doctor gave me right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, every Forza that I've known, pretty much they've had demos, and they have launched some demos at their E3 event for Forza. You know, I think it was like just one, but they can do that again. Yeah, I'm sure you've got enough.
They could.
I'm sure you've got enough of the game where you could do a demo. You know, at least wet people's whistles so they get a feel of what.
Yeah, but it has to look like polish and stuff, because otherwise, you know what's going to happen.
Trust me,
It doesn't look good.
It's not going to look like Redfall, Peter. It's not going to look.
No, I know, but any little, you know, this
every tiny
bounces off just slightly off, you know. It's
that's not going to happen. Turn 10 actually does some great demos when they did demos. They never had a bad demo out there. Never. I can attest to that because I've played every Forza Motorsport out there. Period.
I'm sure Digital Foundry will tear it to pieces, though.
Yep, even the original Forza from the OG Xbox. Oh my God, did we kill too much time in that one? From the original Xbox, we played that. We know life that one. So, Turn 10 got a pedigree, man, and they're not going to make that pedigree look bad. They're one of the only developers you can say that is not going to screw the pooch.
Oh, I have all confidence in Forza Motorsport. Sorry, Forza Motorsport.
Yeah,
I have all confidence in that game.
Yeah.
All confidence in that game. That's not really 8. It's that whole Halo Infinite nonsense they're doing. The same thing.
Movie renaming and restarting and rebooting nonsense.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The one thing about Forza, at least it stayed the same team, unlike the other games that they had. Forza has been Turn 10 and it's still Turn 10. They didn't give it away for no other developers. So that's where you can get that respect. They know their game and they know what people want. Unlike 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. Sorry about that.
What? You know Bungie left, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Microsoft could have owned Destiny if Microsoft said, okay, you can go ahead and do it.
Okay, so Destiny was basically Halo.
Actually, no. Destiny's a totally different game than Halo. It might have similar mechanics, but it's a totally different.
Come on. Yes, it's
really
a totally different game, like Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood. Come on,
dude! Don't you
different game, except for the look.
Back 4 Blood in the same sentence.
Except for the look, the gameplay, the feel. Other than that, they're two totally different games, X.
The Bigblock says,
right,
he's a member for 6 months. He says, the Phoenix is rising from meltdown. Long live Xbox.
Come on. People are still begging for Left 4 Dead 3. Come on. You can't get out of that one.
Well, they're never getting it. Best they're getting is Back 4 Blood. So anyway,
no, it ain't going to happen either.
I want to see. You can leave Sea of Thieves expansions off this show.
You know they're gonna do it. You already know they're gonna do it.
Show me Fable. I don't care if it's just a vertical slice. Just show me Fable. Show me Perfect Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Mav was with us when they announced that. That's how long ago it was. This is the last time you were on our show.
Damn, that was like forever and a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, show some Avowed.
Avowed.
Mm-hmm.
State of Decay 3.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Compulsion hire a what's it called? Social media person or whatever?
A PR rep?
Yeah, they did have
an influencer. You mean?
No,
they did hire a PRF, somebody to do some, I guess, advertising for the game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So you don't hire that one if the game is still like 2 years away. It seems kind of.
They might be preparing for something.
Maybe it's soon.
Maybe.
They're gonna show us some of those, Myke, because those were in Paris's list when he asked the question, and Phil directly said you're gonna see some of those updates on some of those games. So I think Paris's list was like Perfect Dark, Fable, Avowed, and I can't remember everything that he said.
Indiana Jones.
Well,
I don't remember. I don't remember the games Paris said, but Phil said,
didn't say Indiana Jones.
Phil said you're going to see some of those updates on some of those on your list,
right?
And you're also going to have some surprises, which also fit in with the messaging they had that day on Twitter and social media where they promoted it. They said there's going to be some surprises as well.
Hey, Matt, you know what the surprises are going to be? The games that they promised within the 12 months. That's what's going to be.
Those are the givens. That's the Forza will be there, and then the Starfield Direct, and then you might see like Silksong show up, Replaced might show up as well, and that'll be like those games. Like those are more the givens, but like the ones they really need to address is the ones people have forgotten about, the ones that people act like Xbox doesn't have anything in development because they haven't talked about any of the games they have in development for 3 years, right?
That's
so
the initiative,
right?
World exclusive.
Yeah, they need a couple of those.
Yeah. Well, the initiative. Well, what's left of the initiative is Perfect Dark.
Mm-hmm.
With Crystal Dynamics.
That's with Crystal Dynamics. So,
but
I think Indiana Jones, especially with the movie coming out.
Yeah, that could be.
That's been surprising to me that we've heard nothing about that.
Well, it has nothing to do with the movie unless they're trying to it's not going to be done in time for that movie either.
No. I'm not right. It's not, but it's been a little.
They should have something like that, within 6 months of the movie release.
Watch out. They might say Crackdown 4 is coming. You never know with them. I'm serious. They might say it. But nah, they need.
Hey, what about the Kojima thing?
We're not going to see that.
All right.
Kojima said it's going to take a while for them to do that game.
Oh, I know, but maybe.
But will we have
glimpse?
But will we have Death Stranding 2 on Xbox?
No, that's a Sony published game.
But it's
maybe on PC eventually, because I think the PC version is published by 505, so maybe.
Yeah, you're not. That's not coming.
Yeah, but that's
I do find
that's a Kojima studio.
But it's
PlayStation owns the rights.
That's the IP. Yeah, they own the IP. That's not coming. Now, but why can't I don't understand why Kojima can come out and announce and show Death Stranding to everybody, but yet he's got nothing yet on his Xbox. Like he's be able to show a trailer, something.
Do you think we're going to see only PCs, some only on PC stuff at the showcase?
I hope not.
No, don't do that. Don't.
I think that's that.
If we do, it'll be Ara, because that was originally supposed to come to console and PC, and they've since backed off of the console release. That's a first-party published game, and they have had some dev stuff about it, and so it's still yet to come out. That was also a game that was within their 12-month window that missed. People forget about. Because they backed off on the console release schedule on it, that one will probably be another one of these games that they release first on PC, without a release date on console, most likely.
Yeah, just don't get up there and say we're gonna show you Forspoken coming to the Xbox. I don't want to see that.
No. What about Project Mara? Remember that game?
Yeah, Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know Hellblade.
Go ahead.
I know Hellblade's coming, but
Surprise me with a
there's
mech
nothing on that.
assault. That's how. I mean, surprise me with a mech assault. You said you got secret games, and the rumor for mech assault's been around for about 4 years being made. Surprise us with a new mech assault.
New Crimson Skies.
Nah, I'd rather have a mech assault.
No,
I'd take them both.
overruled.
I would take a. Oh man, he makes a compelling argument though. X Crimson Skies was.
I know. I played it online with my friends back then. It was fun. Going through them stupid tunnels and stuff in the doggone big ass mountain, and people shooting you. Then somebody sneak up in front of you when you see him. Like, oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah. Guitar Geo, that Titanfall 3 ain't coming. I'm sorry.
Shut up, Vic. It's not my bedtime yet. I'm a grown man now.
So you have said.
No, I'm still a kid inside. I can't help it. I'm still a kid inside. Yeah. But nah, man. Just surprise us. Don't play no games with us at the show. Tell the truth.
I think they gotta lay everything out. I think they gotta lay everything out.
And really surprise.
And show the games how they are, and not how they.
Right, not how you think they're
CGI be. Kind of like, hey, look, this looks.
Yeah,
really
like
cool.
you did with Rainfall 2 weeks before the game. Make the game. Show us gameplay where the game is gonna look just like that on our console. And if you can't run 60, don't advertise 60. Don't advertise 60.
He addressed that during his interview too, that they'll do a better job of that. And with the Starfield question, he said there will be a direct answer. If it's 30 or so.
So let me ask you guys this question. Like hold on. Let me ask you guys this question because I found that funny. A lot of people were like, "Oh, that means it's 60." I'm like, "Nope, that means it's 30." Now, here's the rub. The last trailer they put out was 60.
Well, you can get 60.
Well, I mean, does it mean it was rendered in 60, but not?
I'm just to add a little bit of context there too. Like, besides just him answering that question, yeah, right, which is exactly how he said, yeah. He also made a point to talk about how their teams have been working with Starfield since early on in production.
Yep.
With Starfield, and in relation to the quality of and missing on the performance with Redfall, right? So it was like he wanted to say it, but he couldn't because he wants it to be shown and revealed by Bethesda, right? But he was trying to instill confidence to us and the quality of Starfield by making the point that we did a much better job with Starfield and getting our teams early on in production and all that kind of stuff with that, so, and that was in direct relation to being late with that on Redfall, not hitting 30 frames and figuring out how they can hit it with having help from Rare and the Coalition, that they now have a plan in place. So he said that, and it was like, but at least we did a better job with that with Starfield. So for me, it seems like he's kind of exuding that confidence of 60. Now he's not going to come out and say it yet, but like just trying to read the room of what was going on in the situation when he said those things, right? So I got I have way more confidence about after the Phil interview about 60 frames for Starfield than I did beforehand.
Yeah, I kind of thought that he. Yeah, it is a good point. It is a very good point. I kind of take the tact, and I'd like to be surprised. Look, I'm going to set the low bar so that I can be more.
So you'll be moderately surprised.
So you can be graciously wrong, right?
So I'll be graciously wrong. No, I'll run the low bar so I can be nice and surprised and happy when it's 60. I just think, I think there's a. I think that's his way of saying, I don't want to tell you it's 30 FPS now because I don't want to ruin the showcase.
Nah, but
I got that vibe.
If he's going to do a 30 FPS, Myke, make it locked 30. Make sure there's no dips.
You know what?
Make sure it's gonna run smooth all the way through at 30. If you can't do 60, make it lock. Not like Redfall.
Todd
It runs 30.
Howard wants this. Todd Howard wants this game to be 30. I'm just telling you.
You know what they're gonna say? You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say the frame rate on the box is correct. No stickers required.
As long as they keep it locked and it doesn't dip.
Yeah.
Below that, that makes all the difference in the world in a game. Because you see games 30 and they dip to 20, sometimes 15 when things are going on.
Yes.
Keep it locked.
It's a different kind of game.
I don't know. I played Destiny. I played Destiny 2 at 120 frames per second, 1440p, and I went back to 1080p 30, and I could not play it. I couldn't play the game.
Oh, I played Destiny on PC too. I love it at 130.
No, I mean, I'm talking Destiny 1. I went back to Destiny 1. It's just locked at 30, and I could not play the game. It almost made me sick. I was like, oh my God, how was I playing this game? It was annoying. I like turned it off. I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. So it's kind of rough. Yeah. I don't know.
I still wish it was a requirement.
120
is that's it.
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying. There should be a standard that they hold all of their developers to and say you have to hit this mark. That's it.
You may get 60, but will it be locked? Will it have dips in it? You know, if
I'll take an unlock
VR,
60. I'll take an unlock 60 over a lock 30 any day.
An unlock 60
I'm with you there.
Pretty, dude.
That's where
it's way better. I can't do lock 30 either. Like for me with VRR monitors and stuff like that, and
exactly.
If you hit like Jedi Survivor is a great example because its performance mode is pretty much broken, right? Or at least it was before this patch. It's dipped all over the place. It's just crazy. It's hovering around 40s to 50s most of the time, but I was playing it and I can get past that. VRR, it takes care of a lot of it. You get a smoother experience, right? The second I tried it, everybody's like, the quality mode is the way to play this game. I was like, okay, if you say so, I'm gonna try it. It lasted 5 seconds. It felt like I was back in like 2014. And my mind just went to warp, and it's like, this game, no! It don't only play worse, it looked worse, everything. It was just like, it just became horrible to me instantly. I just couldn't do it.
Not my last stream.
Did you have bouncing characters where they were one place, and then all of a sudden they're in another place? Did you have that in the game?
No,
I didn't have that.
Okay.
Not my last stream where I beat the Rancor, but the stream before that.
I was watching you. I saw that mess.
I did that, Mav. I'm like, here, you know what? Screw it. I'll put it on quality mode I do like 2 minutes later. I'm like, I can't do this. I had to put it. I'm with Darth. I'll take the dips. I'll take the dips level. to get because the dips at 60 still don't dip down to 30.
No.
There were times in quality mode where that dipped too, and that's inexcusable. That's inexcusable.
That's why I'm talking
especially
about
for
it.
respawn.
If you're gonna lock it, if you're gonna have 60 that's buckling, from time to time, your 30 should be locked.
Well, the problem with locking 30 is ray tracing. That's the biggest problem.
Right.
Don't use ray tracing. Oh, you can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off. That's the problem. So if they go, this is my goal and this is what I want, and they go, we're gonna hit 30 because we want ray tracing. We're not going to give you a performance mode. You're fucked. You are like, seriously. So you're going to be stuck with something like Cyberpunk. I play Cyberpunk in performance only. I never turn quality down. Even how pretty it looks, it's like looking at a slightly slow, stuttering, moving a picture that's really pretty, but it's worth the shit to play. You got to play it in performance mode and get rid of the stuff that's causing problems. And that's my issue with all of that.
It makes the games look worse too, because
it does.
You play the games in motion. You don't play the game standing still.
Exactly.
Right? So the game looks worse too.
That's why I always take off motion blur in my games. I don't like using motion blur. It just causes too much extra.
That's one thing about motion blur. It's one thing that will slightly help a 30 frames game.
But it makes it look terrible though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But it's already 30 frames.
It's already
so
30 frames.
Crappy. You want it to be blurry, at least so you can't tell how bad it looks.
You know, you need to coin that phrase right there, man. That's actually good, dude.
That's the only time you use motion blurs if you're playing in 30 frames. I'll stand behind that.
Oh God.
No. I'm with you. I turn and even there, I turn it off and I turn off chromatic aberration and all that nonsense. And
especially in shooters, I don't like motion blur in shooters. It messes up your accuracy.
Because shooters should be at 60 FPS. Period.
Yeah.
Right. But turn off the motion blur
or above
60, including movies.
I was going to say including movies. Yeah, you're using the fast motion TV. Stop it. That's supposed to be 30 frames per second. Actually, 24.
Who's talking that crap? Who's in there?
I'm just joking with Peter.
Oh.
Just talking about movies. I'm like, well, no. I'm like a video file. I get it has to be 24 frames per second, man.
I hate that.
That's films. That's filmatic.
I know, but the film.
If you turn it to 60, then it looks like a soap opera. But that's my opinion.
Aren't
my God!
movies
Days
just
of Our
big soap
Lives or
operas?
General Hospital? Which one?
It don't matter. Who gives a shit?
I grew up on soap operas. Don't mess with me.
Oh my God.
That's good for you, sir.
Phil needs to get better, dude. He needs to.
I tried to wrap this up 25 minutes ago, just to let everybody know. I attempted to wrap
just
this
a
up
little
25
bit
minutes
over,
ago.
not that bad. You've been worse.
Notice in no way, shape, or form did I say we were going to end at 11:30 today.
You didn't
mistake.
actually say what time we were ending the day. Actually, normally
I wasn't making that mistake. All right, so here's what I'm my final thought on this, and we'll get everybody's final thought. Is I'm unhappy with some of the things he said. I am happy that he is upset because I'm hoping that adversity because I've been in that position where I have been that level of upset in my professional career, and I used it as a motivator to get to where I am at today. And that is what I am hoping that Phil does. I don't want to see him lose his job because even though he's made some other decisions I have not been happy with, taking out the HDMI in and stuff like that.
I'm sad so much.
You cannot discount what he has done for what many people thought was going to be the end of Microsoft's Xbox brand, and you cannot deny objectively that he has turned that entire piece of Microsoft's business around. You just can't. That said, shit happens. So what do you do? What do you do when you get punched in the mouth and knocked on the ground? You can either get back up and fight, or you go into the fetal position. I don't see Phil as the fetal position guy. He's got a giant showcase next month in which to show everybody that, we're all wrong and we can all go fuck ourselves. He's got the stuff, and all of us who have been complaining, and we go from there. We see, Starfield's going to be a big game. Forza's not going to miss. Turn 10 doesn't miss. Hellblade has looked good from everything we've seen. We've got this is where the rubber meets the road, right? And so let's see what,
Well, even if Hellblade looks good and it's running perfectly, it'll still get down by the other side of the community.
I'm not worried about the other side.
I'm
trust me.
the truth, though.
I do not care about that. I don't dabble in that shit. I don't care about that. I care about what goes on over on my entertainment center. That's what I care about. That's what matters to me. They didn't. Nobody on the other side of this console. Nobody in the console war sphere laid out a dime for any of my stuff. So that doesn't interest me.
It doesn't bother. That stuff doesn't bother Xbox either. They ain't listening to the console warriors and the fanboys.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Right.
They're more worried about the consumers that actually play the game
and how much money they make with the software that they sell. Because remember, Microsoft is still basically a software company. The software is what makes them the money. That's what they care about.
I can get and that is a valid point. So anyway, Praxis, last word on this.
Last word. I don't know. I'm just hopeful. I think we're kind of in a limbo right now. We've been waiting a while just to hear more about all these games that we've been anticipating, and my hope is just that we finally do in this next showcase that they're able to really hit a lot of the points we've been waiting on, see some more production, see what's actually happening with some of these games we've been waiting word about, and then get some release dates. And I don't know, I maybe I'm crazy with this one. I've seen a couple of rumors about Forza, possibly there's a shadow drop rumor that's popped up in the last week. And I don't know if that's possible. Somebody said it could be a demo, even like X-Men was saying. And it could shadow drop it, or it could be just like Mav said, it could be October, November. So who knows?
Why you always do that to me? Get my hopes up and then you bring me right back
dash
down.
you down?
You do that to me every time.
Realist. Jeez. But I'm actually pretty I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I just some of the things he said, yeah, and with Redfall, the way that it hit, I was being a little bit too critical in some ways, but a lot of ways it needs a lot of work. And seeing what they dropped, they dropped the ball. It felt like Halo Infinite all over again, and it's frustrating to see it. And I'm sure he's frustrated to see the response. So I'm hoping that they move forward with this and are able to rectify it in the showcase.
Love it. Peter?
I mean, let me see some games. Let me see the unknowns, at the showcase. Curious.
Awesome.
But yeah, but Phil said, I'll be happy with a controller in my hand. So whatever games are there, then we can play them. I'll be happy.
Well, if they're good, I think what he meant was they have to be good games.
Right. Well, yeah.
Right. Okay. I like it. X, try to keep this to 15.
It's fine.
Excuse the pun, everybody in the chat. That's like the pot calling the kettle black. But no. What I want them to do is after the show, I want you to open up your checkbook and start advertising these games throughout the rest of the gaming year that you showed in your showcase that's going to be your top game. Start advertising them. Get your advertising up. That's all I want. If you got these games coming this year, advertise them like nobody's tomorrow. And say they're only on Xbox and Xbox ecosystem. That's it. Is that short enough for you?
I think you could have.
I'm sorry, are you done? Are you done? I'll give you.
We can unmute him
second
now.
just to make sure.
I think he's done.
Well.
And brother Mav, final word.
Blow our minds. Let's go.
No,
I just want to see the games that we already know about. I want to see new game announcements, and I want to see updates on some of the third-party stuff. I wanted a few surprise Game Pass deals, more of a show that was closer to 2021 show than 2022's, but even better. And I think they're in a position to give that to us because the game should be in a better state by now to show us some stuff, right? So I'm going to chalk this up to where at 2021 we thought that was maybe the best Xbox showcase of all time. Last year's not so much. It was pretty good, but fell short in a lot of ways, especially looking back at it now. 2023, I think, could top 2021 show, and I think they're going to give that. And I think this downwardness that everybody's in this funk right now because of Redfall, like June happens, we're going to be playing Diablo, and we're going to be watching the showcase. We ain't going to even think about that stuff anymore. We're going to be thinking about all these great games coming out, and they just need to cement that and just put that confidence in the quality and the quantity out there, and don't shoot yourself in the foot, with doing something stupid. That's what they need to do.
Outstanding. And you know what? This was, by the way, I want to say to everybody that, and in the chat too, because the chat as always has been like right with us, in this time frame where any criticism, any critique of Bill or Microsoft or Redfall has been met by even folks in the Xbox community as just shut up and stop complaining, or go sell your Xbox, or entitled child, man, baby, whatever, blah blah blah. I appreciate the fact that we can have this discussion and air out some stuff, and we all understand and can discuss this really, really well. I thought this was a great discussion tonight. And I think we all like the platform. So it's not as though, it's we all own Xbox. We all love Xbox. We want it to be, we want it to be the premier experience. As much as I want my PlayStation to be premier experience, I want to be able to pop in. When I play Spider-Man 2, I'm expecting greatness because Spider-Man 1 was. So it goes all the way through to gaming itself. So it's all done for the betterment of gaming. So I appreciated everybody's perspective tonight. I thought it was great, respectful, fun, and I think very informative conversation all the way around. So I got to hand it to you guys. Thank you so much for that. Considering it's 12:36 my time, I hesitate to switch out to another topic. I think we finished for the evening. However, what I did want to say was, one of the big, we were talking about Atari earlier, and it's sort of, Mav, you brought up Frogbog, which, do you know how many people don't know what Frogbog is? Stuff like that. I mean, respect level once again has risen for you with this television knowledge. So do I. I've got it over there. I've got you know my Intellivision collection. It's over there. It's I soft spot in my heart. Atari announced that they did acquire the M Network 2600 titles, which they worked out a deal with Intellivision for to get, because obviously these were the Atari versions of Astro Smash, which under M Network was Astro Blast, Armor Battle, which is Armor Ambush, Frogbog, which is Frogs and Flies, Space Battle, which is Space Attack, and Star Strike, which is Star Strike. So
I've got all those games.
Yeah, if you've got on the 2600. Now, granted, they weren't as good as the Intellivision versions of it because the Atari 2600 wasn't as good a piece of hardware. But this is what's neat about this is they can take these games and they can put them out on the VCS. They can put them out. I mean, Atari has done multi-platform from the beginning. So, you could see some of these on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC. I'll probably play them on the VCS for whatever reason, because I've got an Atari VCS. I've got this bizarro thing in my head. I know it sounds bizarre. but I feel like all the Atari stuff that comes out, I have to play on that system. I don't know why. Thankfully, the modern controller looks exactly like the Xbox One X controller, so it's I still get that experience. But I always feel like I have to buy those games on Atari. When the Atari 50th collection came out, that's where I bought it, right? So
I remember.
I would do the same things with these. Atari bought, Berserk and Frenzy, and then they bought. This was the big one for me. Last month, they bought the entire Accolade, Microprose. Hang on, I guess I'll just go through this really quickly. Accolade Infogrames and Microprose collection, which was Bubsy and Hardball, Demolition Racer, 1942 Pacific Air. I mean, just stuff that I played the shit out of. Accolade was one of my favorite third parties back in the day. And some of their Genesis titles were just beast. Like Hardball was one of my favorite baseball games, like of all time, before the likes of MLB The Show and MLB 2K and that. Hardball was my jam. So, to see, and then they acquired Night Dive Studios, and Night Dive was working on the spiritual successor to System Shock. So, Atari's on the move, and they got some great stuff. And I will just say, because it was made public on one of the Amico Forever shows at DJC Game Studios, is one of the games that Chuck and I are pilot testing. For Intellivision is a version of Atari's Missile Command, and I gotta tell you, if the system actually can make it out the door, that is the version that I will play over the Atari over the actual recharge version.
I have Missile Command on my Xbox. It's a 1-to-1.
I have it too.
Exact. Yeah, it's 1-to-1 correct too.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
But there's something about that touch screen that makes the game control like the old trackball. So, anyhow, Atari making some moves. That's something we'll probably go into a little more detail next week when we've got time.
Yeah, I do got the trackball for my Sega Master System.
I wanted to bring it up because Mav like tugged at my heartstrings with Frogbog and the Intellivision stuff. Well, I love you, man. So
I love you too.
No, Ham.
I know how to get to
going
your
another
heart.
hour.
You get him old school, he'll just go down the list. That's what I love about Myke. He will pull it up. Like he pulled up my game yesterday. Crystal Castle. What's my game again?
Star Castle on the Vectrex.
Star Castle. Oh man, I love that. The arcade version still looks way better, but man, I love Star Castle.
All right, I'm sorry, Ham. We're not going another hour.
Oh God, where the hell you been? Damn, stranger danger.
And Yobi, how can they call people man and child and stop complaining when we all spend countless of dollars on said platforms? You're damn right we got to voice our opinions. It's crazy if you don't. That's basically where I'm at. Thank you, Far.
People do on drugs.
Thank you, FarQ.
Sure, right?
We're not going another hour though. But hey, chat, you guys were freaking phenomenal tonight. I mean, no kidding. One of the things that I love so much about this show is what we talk about, you guys talk about. And oh man, I miss saying hi to Masshole. Damn it, Masshole is here. But you guys are always all in on our conversations. You guys continue to be respectful with each other, respectful with us. Even if you guys disagree, it honestly, it's the reason that we're not just sitting here in an Xbox Live party just talking, because you guys being part of this makes it for us. So I just want to shout you guys out. Thank you for hanging out with us every week. Thank you to the folks that Matt brought over, FarQ, and I think Vic the Click popped over tonight, and you know, hopefully you guys hang out with us. You know, thankfully we're not on a night that Mav has one of his 25 different shows. So
just 3. Come on.
I know. However, I want to say again for the record, I do miss Fun Pop.
I do too. I really do.
I do miss Fun Pop. It was one of those just different, you know, you get sometimes I couldn't listen right away because spoilers, but when I wanted my movie fix and that kind of stuff, I really did love Fun Pop. I thought that was a great different show. So
maybe one day.
The 3-bit even says RIP Fun Pop. However, Mav, tell us about your 3 shows and where they can find you, and we'll get our outros going here. And of course, thank you for coming on.
Go ahead. What was the thing?
And of course, thank you for popping in tonight, man. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. I was like, didn't know what to do with myself. It's like, hey, I could just sit here in the chat and argue with people, or I could like, and actually talk to you guys. So thanks for letting me crash your show. It was great getting to be here with Darth. I have not got to chat with you in a while, man. So it's good seeing you. Sir X-Man, good seeing you here. Peter, you're awesome. Love you, man. And Myke, as always, you do a great thing here on this channel, and I love that you still keep it going after all these years. Can't wait to see what you guys do in the future. But if you do want to check out our channel, it's called Fun Speculation on YouTube. You can follow on Twitter at Fun Speculation. We have 3 shows: Mondays, FSP at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays with Pong Soul, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and then Fridays, Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern. So check those out. I also do random streams, and sometimes Sunday nights I do like a solo stream thing as well.
How is Pong?
I saw that this Sunday. That was actually a nice one. That was cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. How's Pong doing?
Yeah,
he's never old, man. He's just old.
He's old.
That's how he's doing. I mean, there's nothing else to say. He's just old. He's probably sitting in his recliner right now, scratching his balls and drinking on some kind of drink and playing some random old game. That's just Pong's style.
I can attest to that. That's what I do. That's what I do.
That's probably what he's doing exactly right now. He's probably about to go to bed because he's got to get up at like 4 a.m. and then drive 3 hours in the snow, even though it's May, to go to work because he lives in Minnesota. Then he's going to get off of work at like 5 and then drive 3 hours in the snow back. And then he's going to get on a podcast. Then he'll play some games, sit in his old man recliner and scratch his balls somewhere. That's how Pong's doing.
God. I miss those days.
I'm the oldest in this community. You mean to tell me that's what he does? Wow.
Yeah, that's what he does. He lets his dogs outside every once in a while. Besides that, it's about it.
Nice. Wow. Well, go check out Mav's channel, please. Seriously, you do awesome work. You know, you've begun to skyrocket as far as your you know, your reach and like your content is top notch. And of course, you have one dynamite thumbnail maker. And one day she's coming on. Caitlin will be on our show one freaking Tuesday night. It's gonna happen.
Okay. If you say so. See if you can talk about it.
She can't duck us forever.
I'll tell her that.
Okay. Now seriously,
right there, buddy.
you know, yeah, I know.
Jesus.
Now you guys know, you know, Matt, we love you. We love what you do. You know, you are one of the quality teams in this community, and I say teams because of, you know, Pong and 3-bit and Gunter and you know and Caitlin and what you guys do is awesome, and we love you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
And you're always welcome to crash the show anytime you want. You know that.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
So
all you guys.
Sir X-Man is as old as Wolverine.
I know. I saw that. I did not want to respond to him. I did not want to respond to him. He's in rare form today.
No, Gunter was part of our Halo game night. That's
no,
why
we're talking about Gunter.
Gunter he's the original. He's the original.
No, he's been on our show before.
I know he has, but he's the original one more.
Before too.
So
yeah.
So which also reminds me, Matt, with you here, it reminds me. Continued thoughts out to Mr. Lupa. I know she's still kind of not around. I know you said she was okay, but still
That's
thinking about her.
That's the first time I heard anything. I'm so glad she's okay.
Yeah.
I miss her in
we're
this
still thinking about her.
Man. She's an awesome person.
It kind of makes me feel bad because I don't think she realizes it. She's still a member. She's still a Friends of NLG member, and I see that, and we think about her constantly. So, if you do have any contact with her, please let her know we miss her.
I'll try. It's hard to get hold of. But
no kidding, they are.
I know.
Okay, you got to stop, Vic. He says he misses me and Paul being in the same show. That's an argument all show. Praxis there. He knows when
I've
me
been
and
there
him
many
get together.
times. Oh yeah.
Speaking of X, where can they find you roaming about, yelling at clouds, telling people to get off your lawn?
Yeah, I don't have a lawn. I live in an apartment. I let people do that. I'm too old to do that shit now. Screw that mess. But you catch me on GRG on Fridays with K-Mega. Every now and then you can catch me with Xbot, depending on how I feel that day. On the next podcast at 7:00 on Thursdays. And for the formidable future, until I return to work, I'll be here hanging out with Myke and Peter.
Until Peter kicks you off the show.
Yeah, he probably gonna do it after the day after the
eventually.
I
don't know. Apparently, Nick was talking like you're gonna be on Retro Roots too. So
Retro Roots.
He introduced you. He introduced you as the newest panelist. I'm like, damn, am I getting replaced?
He really enjoyed me.
Go back and listen. Go. Oh, dude, we had a great time with you on Retro Roots last night. Seriously, that was fun.
What do you expect?
That's where you fit. So, like, now I'm speaking for Nick. So he'll be texting me. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So no.
But no, I had a good time.
Anyhow,
I always had a good time.
No, it was
here.
good.
And I thank you for letting me rant, because if you notice, I don't use that much profanity. But if people want to see me use profanity, come to GRG on Friday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nick's peeped in every now and then.
He's holding all that in till Friday.
Mike peeped in a little bit and checked us out and heard it. But I have fun over there. I have fun here. I have fun wherever I go, man. It doesn't matter.
Hold on. I was wondering why Mav was frozen.
He left.
He left the.
He was just holding still for you.
Oh my god!
I gotta go to sleep.
That is hilarious. I'm not removing that. That's how Mav
just a little subtle hint, like, hey,
take a screenshot, man. Take a screenshot.
Oh my god, that's funny. All right, there you go, Gunter. One more, damn it. All right, Peter, where can they find you?
Well, every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find me right here with you, Myke, and Sir X-Man, and hopefully soon Chris will be back. And you find me on Xbox at GamerTag HCK, PlayStation HCK 360. It's HCK 360 pretty much everywhere, including Twitter. So there you have it.
Nice. And Darth. Dude, yes. So great to have you on tonight, brother.
I enjoyed it.
Yes, I hope that you did.
Oh, yeah.
So, tell the good people where they can find you.
Well, mostly you can find me on Twitter at Praxis Darth, because I erased my first account stupidly and then had to redo it. So it's not all fitting like it should. And on Xbox at Darth Praxis, you can, send me a message. I might respond and try to play with there. Other than that, whenever I can finagle my way onto somebody's show and cause trouble and swear when I'm not supposed to, I just do that.
Like I do.
Just let me know. Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Very nice.
You could tell me and him are friends.
Oh yeah. we played Rock Band together, so I mean we're good friends.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That was a long play, man. My fingers were hurting after that session.
Good night, brother FarQ. Thank you FarQ was like 6 hours ahead. He hung this whole time.
Wow.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's a lot. And to Cyber Gunter 81, to brother Gunter with a G. He says, thanks, Myke, for the shout out. In all seriousness, the reason I brought him up is because that first night that I played Halo with Mav and him and Lupa and Caitlin and
was it a community game night?
There was a couple. No, that was when Mav was doing Halo before Xbox Ultimate took off, and he was doing like an hour show, and then we were playing Halo afterwards. Yep. And I remember it distinctly. We were streaming it, and I think I was streaming it, and I was like, it was like 2 a.m. or some shit like that. It was like late, and I'm like, guys, I really got to get to bed. I got to get up in the morning. And Gunter's like,
and then it was over. You woke up, and it was like 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, because Gunter was like, hell no, you're not leaving. Or I forgot what it was. I forgot exactly what he said. He said, and then him and Lupa started, and then they all joined in. They were like, one. Yeah, 3-Bit was there too. One more. One more.
Man.
One more. And then I ended up playing fucking 5 more games.
You know how many?
Oh my God!
We playing that history. We all done it.
It's one of the reasons I'm very endeared to Mav and that entire crew is because they really welcomed me in. I ended up playing for many, many more weeks. That was a legendary stream. I can't remember if that was also the stream in which you guys found out about my piano playing, video game music
skills.
Thing. Yes, where I started playing Mario Brothers on my piano, and they're like, "You can play that stuff?" And then we started singing Africa and all kinds of stuff. It was.
Oh my!
I hear the rain down in Africa.
So it was great. I between matches when I was finally out of the match while I was waiting for the next match to start, I would serenade, and so we'd all. That's right. It started off as karaoke. Caitlin and oh, she goes by Rona now. What was her other name? Lady. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, it's
QT.
Oh no, Lady. Yeah.
Lady AF.
Yeah.
Yes, Lady AF.
Yes.
She was in there. We were all doing karaoke, and then I walked over to the piano, and then that was it. So
I'm gonna come see you on the East Coast one day, and we're gonna do Metallica the One.
There you go. So FarQ, thank you so much. He said it's nearly 6 a.m. Don't sleep so well. Thank you guys for keeping me entertained. No, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Hopefully you'll come back. Mav knows he's also welcome anytime. Lady's doing good. I see her on Twitter. She's I think she's just kind of resetting herself too.
Yeah, she is.
She's doing well.
I see her on Twitter a few times. Yeah. Sometimes she notifies us of how she's doing.
Yeah, she's really a nice girl.
Every now and then you get burnt out sometimes, and but I think she'll make a comeback eventually.
I think so. So,
yeah.
Darth, it was really great having you tonight. It really was, and I'm glad you were able to join us. Of course, as with all of our, you now have the open door. So anytime you want to come on,
just look at Sir X, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I
Every
can't
week.
believe they keep
Right.
having me on.
I look at him all
the
the
guest.
time.
The
Hold it. I got one request from Darth. Darth, give us a good impersonation of somebody. I love his impersonations, dude.
Impersonation?
You didn't know
Oh, somebody.
He's impersonating himself like all night long. It's like, man,
No,
I'm tired of himself.
incredible.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't impersonate people.
He's
The voices that I want to do, that's all I do. Don't worry. You know, I like the voice. I like the voice too, yeah. Try it. Shut up.
Nathan, stop lying. Nathan Fisher. Nate says he's never been on the show.
Trust me. He's got a lot.
Oh, I know. So people have to check out. What was the? Hang on. I bet. Well, what's the latest game you were working on? It was a racing game. You were.
Oh, me?
Working on voiceover
It's
Yes.
actually it's a friend of mine, Roz Bazzi is what he goes by on Twitter. And he's an independent developer, created a 90s style F1 racing game.
Yeah.
And it's called it's what is it? SPGP, I think is what it's called. I'm an idiot.
Something like
I
that,
can't think of
yeah.
the name of it. I mean, but what I did is I recorded all of the voice work in the menus for him. So I did all of the track names and all of the menu selection screens. There was another guy who had already done the voice for the actual track voice. So it's a little different when you hear it. It's a little jarring. So it sounds like two different people because it's two different people. And but when you hear the menu selection, you'll kind of pick it out. You can go, oh yeah, that's him. And I add a reverb effect and everything to make it totally sound as much like Daytona or Virtua Racer or anything I could.
Like it's
So
coming from,
when I
like,
did
the stand, right? Like
Yeah.
it's coming from the crowd in the stand, yeah.
well, like it was you're hearing it on the overhead,
no.
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
on the overhead speaker, right?
Mhm, on the speaker, yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Did the game look like F1 from Psygnosis in 1996?
Oh, it looks yeah, it actually looks more like Virtua Racing, only way better and it moves smoother.
Oh yeah,
But it's really good. He does a
Oh.
good job. It's going to be releasing he's I think by the end of this month on Steam.
Okay, that's very soon.
So yeah, I think it's the end of this month. He's trying to hit it at. If you go, if you follow me, you'll see it on my timeline. You could follow it. But yeah, he's doing a whole bunch of updates.
Can we wishlist it already? Do you know?
You can if you follow him. If you go to his Twitter page, I think he has a link where you can still download the demo and play it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
I know.
download-
I
Yeah.
downloaded the demo.
Yep, I had grabbed the demo as well.
It's called SP Racing.
It's SPGP, SP Grand Prix.
Okay, SP
So-
Grand Prix. Okay.
Yeah, it's not on. You can't see it. It hasn't been completely uploaded to Steam yet. He's still waiting for some approvals,
Okay.
but it's getting there. So
Well, you can notify me when it's out. You know how to reach out to me. Oh, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
send me a link when you get it together. That goes to Steam.
he's also working with Sony and with Microsoft to get it. I don't know. I want to say Sony, but I definitely know with Microsoft trying to get it on Xbox.
Well,
So-
Microsoft is
Oh.
more the indie people too, so that's
Yeah,
why it'll probably get in a lot easier there.
Yeah, I think so. And he's really working on that version right now. That's his main focus. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it'll be pretty neat. I'm happy. It's a game. I'm in.
Is it gonna
I'm
have
ready.
online so I can play and beat you?
I believe so. I think it's got all. I don't think I played a game with online yet, but I think I've got to double check some of the features. But I think that's one of his goals. If not, even so, it's still fun to play.
Oh yeah. That sounds cool, dude.
Oh, I
can't-
did play it. Now I remember that. And I like one of the early builds and
Oh,
I
it's
hit a
falling
side and
apart.
flipped over and stuff. That was pretty cool.
You flip, how,
Yeah.
how you flip
He-
over an F1 car?
Well, he
you
had
hit
a-
the
Very
sides pretty
easily.
hard and go flying.
He had some problems with the track, and there was some glitches that came up. And one of them was on the Laguna Seca course. It was the California Raceway, and when
yeah.
you make one of the turns, it launches you and flips you all over the like up in the air, and then you just explode. And
Oh,
I was
I
like,
know
no
what
matter
you're saying.
how
Is
slow you go,
Is that
flips
the
you off
one
the
that
track. You're
goes
like,
around
whoa!
that sharp turn? that's supposed to go down. You know, you're going up this short one. Yeah, the corkscrew. That's where he was hitting it. Yeah.
That was one of them.
That on Forza where people don't know how to slow down at that corner.
I used to live near that actual racetrack. I used to go down and watch races there. It was awesome. So anyway, the real one. So right on. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's been an honor to be with you all.
Well, you are welcome anytime. Like I said, like you did, honestly, like you did this week. Or I forgot when you reached. I think you reached out to me either Thursday or Friday, and you basically said, if you want a guest on, I'll pop on. That's
like he got X in here, so I should be able to get in.
You got an idiot like him. You can have an idiot like me.
Right? Because nobody listens to me anyway.
We listen to you, sir. We just smile while we're listening.
Oh, ain't that about a bunch of nothing?
Everybody smiles at me too, so don't worry about it.
I know, right? What's wrong with us?
I don't know. Anyhow, all right. So I am going to go ahead and get us out of here because it is now 1 a.m.
Your time. It's only midnight for me.
Well, that's true. Mav has fallen asleep, as you can see.
Yeah, he's gone.
Picture,
it's only like 10 o'clock for him. No, 3 hours difference. So it's like 9 o'clock for you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Nate says he called. Oh, thank you, Gunter. He says you're awesome. Your panelists as well. And he's going to see Metallica this August. So I was telling him about.
I saw him 3 years ago, right before the pandemic, dude. Man, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you'll like this, Gunter. So I'll show this picture very, very quickly and then get us out of here.
Sure.
We are. We're going up. We got our hotel.
Next topic.
We got our
next topic.
The griddle concert.
We got our hotel. We got our tickets. We're going to see Video Games Live June 3rd. Up in Boston with the Boston Pops and my friend Tommy Tallarico. And Seth is going up. This is going to be his first ever concert that he's ever been to, and he's stoked because Tommy gave him a backstage pass a couple years ago when we met him in Pennsylvania, and said, if you ever come to one of my concerts, this is the pass. And apparently, that I don't have one, so he gets to hang out backstage and. I have to sit and wait in the car, I guess.
Well,
but no, we're gonna.
He's gonna let you back there anyway. Dude.
Oh no, I know. No, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out before the show. We're gonna, and we're gonna. I'm taking the Pilot Amico unit with me.
I don't think I've ever seen you with. That's the first time I've ever seen him with a shaved face.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
That's not me.
Oh, that's Tommy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's so small. Well, I'm looking at the other screen, so now I'm looking at the YouTube screen. Okay, I see the difference.
What do you do? This is why I keep telling you not to do that. Here, this is me and Tommy. There's a little difference in height as well. I'm pretty sure I'm a little taller than.
Yeah, about 6 inches. Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm also very stoked for that concert. That's gonna be an awesome concert.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that show was good.
Yeah, and I hear, pray tell, rumor. At least I saw it on the Boston Pops site when I bought the tickets. Marty O'Donnell might be there.
Who's Marty O'Donnell? I don't know anything. Who's Marty O'Donnell?
Good night, everybody.
No, I don't know. No, who's Marty O'Donnell? No, seriously, who's that?
He wrote the Halos. He wrote the Halo soundtrack.
Oh, I never. And I believe
he's the original composer.
He's
of
like
the
Halo
soundtrack.
I've never paid attention who wrote the Halo soundtrack. I just listen to it, man. I'm being honest.
Oh my God.
I just didn't worry about that. You're more musically inclined, so that's why you know about it a lot more. Me, I just like to play the game.
Okay, raise your hand, except for Mav, who can't raise his hand, if you know who Marty O'Donnell was.
Well, after you done said it, see, even Darth don't know who it is. Thank you.
It didn't really. It wasn't one of the things I followed. I apologize.
Yeah,
I'm an old man.
Sorry.
I only know him because of the name, because of the lawsuits and stuff. And I was like, oh, he wrote that. Okay.
Oh wow. Way to speak the truth, people. Way to speak the truth.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
Is that just as bad as Nick not knowing Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello?
Perhaps. It's okay.
Did you run the credits yet?
I had started to, and then I had to come back.
Did I say what I said, right? I'm sorry
trying to find it.
Bubble, man.
I'm telling you. Where is? Oh, here we go. View remaining performances. There was it was on their site. So if he's there, I met him way back in the day. I met him back in the NLG days.
I'm just too tired to look.
Apparently, so. Oh, there. Why did the dates say 06? There we go. Load up. Friday, July 8th, 9th, 10th. Okay. Oh, because... Alright, I don't know what I'm doing.
Myke does.
Alright, it's fine.
Sometimes.
It's all good. Anyhow. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. for another NLG show. Feels like Return of the Kings Paul's ending.
I'm just saying. That's what it felt like to me.
All right. I promise.
Listen,
I promise.
for real this time.
All right. Good night, everybody. Don't forget to check out our other Gamers United Guild shows that are coming on the rest of the week.
He forgot the outro again.
All right. Okay. Seriously. Now,
and if you'd like to make a call, please hang up. Try again.
Yes. Why don't you just tell me what show you want to watch?
Yeah.
All right. Seriously. Thank you, guys. Pick up a controller. Get some gaming in. I will... I may be streaming Thursday night. We shall see. Friday night, I have a gig, so Peter or Chris, I think, might do some stuff. And then check out, again, all of our Gamers United Guild folks are down below in the description. Check them out. We'll see you later on. Pick up a controller. Get some gaming in. Mav is still frozen in time. Play on, gamers.
Game Pass.
All right, I can't say goodnight until everybody says goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, there we go.
Whoopee.
Just kidding. No, here we go.
Good morning.
Aha! I found it!
Good morning!
Oh my God, we're back!
I found it! Here it is. Video Games Live. Special guests, Marty O'Donnell and Jason Hayes. In case you didn't know who Jason Hayes was, I don't know who Jason Hayes is either. But Marty O'Donnell's going to be there. Good night.